Looking at the city now.
These are the days you dream about. Will there be more FA Cup drama today?
Welcome to Wembley and the Emirates FA Cup final between Crystal Palace and Manchester City, and as ever, the sun is shining for the occasion. It's a third final for Palace. They've never won the cup, but they've come so close on two occasions. It's a third final in a row for City, and were they to win today, that would be 8 FA Cup triumphs in all. So there is a gap in pedigree between the two sides, but Palace are convinced they can break the cycle and add their name to the list of winners here in North London.
We are very much an underdog. We all believe that we have a chance on the day.
The season have not been good. But now I have this incredible opportunity to FA Cup.
It means a lot for us because it's a huge achievement. For the club, for the players, for the fans. This is one more game.
Well, the Palace fans have been here early, as you would expect, and thousands have been gathering in Covent Garden in central London as well. Kick-off an hour and a half away for a match that could prove to be the most memorable 90 minutes in the club's long and varied history. As for City, much more used to making this journey, the 23rd time they visited Wembley under Pep Guardiola alone. That experience could be key, as we saw against Nottingham Forest in the semi-final. It is the most beautiful afternoon here at Wembley, as it so often is for FA Cup final day. It is the most perfect setting, and you're very welcome to the touchline here. And 3 FA Cup winners join us in Roy Keane, Julian Lescott and Ian Wright. We've already had to scarper once from the sprinklers, so we keep our fingers crossed that they don't come on again. Good afternoon, everybody. Nice. Ian, you played in Palace's first final in 1990. Twice they've been within 10 minutes of winning the cup, both times denied. I get a real sense from all the Palace fans, I'm not saying the players, that today could be their day. What do you think?
Well, you hope so. Obviously, it's going to depend on what team City put out, but like, if it's anything to do with the fans and the fans' support for today, they won't be far short of it, because Palace fans will make this a massive occasion. It was too close. 7 minutes for us when we were doing it, and every time I see the goal, Poogs, it's a tough one to take, but it's something that I believe that Palace side at the time, when we got there from 85 with Steve Coppell up to 90, I think they deserve something in that time. So hopefully, you know, this could be the day when they can repay that back to Palace. Palace can get something finally. 7
minutes in 1990, you say 9 minutes in 2016, but they're up against Manchester City and, of course, all the power they have, Julian. I've heard some people say, well, if they only win the FA Cup, that's a disappointing season. I want to say to those Man City fans, you do realise that between 1976 and 2011, when you played and won, that City won nothing.
Yeah, again, they're the only people that can decide whether it's not a successful season. But I don't think that's the case. Again, going back to 2011, remembering that occasion and how much it meant to that group of fans, and it kind of feels like that for Palace today. But in regards to the success the club's had, yes, they would deem this slightly unsuccessful, but not totally unsuccessful.
Still a trophy. Romance for your reality today, isn't it, in many ways, Roy?
Yeah, of course. But for where Man City were a few months ago, we thought the wheels had come off. They'd obviously lost a bit of hunger, desire. You felt they were going nowhere fast. Get that recovery, you know, get into a cup final, and of course they've got important league games coming up. So it's another huge day for Man City. Obviously, a lot of the focus is on Palace because of their history of not winning it. But Pep likes to win. You know, he's a serial winner. And there's no doubt in my mind they'll be as hungry as Palace to win this trophy, without a doubt.
Absolutely, because it might be slightly disappointing not to win the league again or the Champions League, but if you don't win anything, that really is properly disappointing.
Yeah, so
there we go.
Yeah, that's my point. Have no doubt about it, that this City team will be arriving at Pep with their supporters. They'll be desperate to win the trophy, 100%.
OK, the players have been out on the pitch. Let's hear from the Palace goalkeeper, Dean Henderson, with Gabriel Clark.
Dean, good to see you. You've been savouring the walkabout on the pitch there. Today is so special.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, growing up in this country, knowing what this trophy means, it's a dream come true to play in the final, and yeah, everyone's really excited and looking forward to it.
So driving in, they've talked about the whole of South London evacuating to North London. What does that look like and felt like?
Yeah, obviously we know what happened in the semis. The fans turned up in the numbers. They created an unbelievable atmosphere, and I know they'll be behind us for every tackle today, and we're looking forward to hearing their voices and helping us.
And what are the key elements you need again from that semi-final performance today?
I think the discipline of it. I think the discipline, obviously, we're going to have to ride some storms today. They're obviously a fantastic team. We know that. Got to ride the storm at times, and hopefully we can hurt them going the other way.
And what is it about this occasion that means so much? Have you mentioned the history? Is that something that Oliver Glasner has talked to you about, becoming the first Palace side to win a trophy?
Yeah, I think he spoke about creating our own history here at Crystal Palace, and we've got that opportunity today. Obviously, it's been ramping up all week. We're really excited. Just got to live in the moment, trust the process, focus on each actions, and yeah, see where it takes us.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, Dean Henderson, of course, has the experience being an England goalkeeper. Roy, do you think because of the concentration of money in the big clubs now that it's harder than ever to win any sort of trophy?
Yeah, the challenge is obviously tougher, yeah, but it doesn't make it any easier as well when you're the bigger clubs. Obviously, you've got more chance, you've got bigger squad, you've got more strength in depth, of course. But then you've seen teams like Newcastle do well this year. You see, obviously, Palace get to a cup final now. So maybe these teams are getting a bit more confidence, a bit more belief, particularly when the beauty of the semi-finals been played here. I know people have been critical, but Palace have had a taste of winning here now, so it's such a big shock for them to turn up here today and believe they can get that win. It'll be very difficult. We spoke, obviously, the goalkeeper there. If they're to get a result, I think he'll have to be man of the match. I think City are still have got the quality players. Palace are more than capable of scoring a goal, but that goalkeeper will have to play well today.
You have to seize your moment, though, don't you, Ian? And you just get the feeling for Palace, this is one of those days. They're in really good form, really good momentum. The way they played against Aston Villa here, as Roy says, so accustomised to Wembley, was so impressive that it's one of those seize the moments days.
It is, and I think when you look at the team that they're capable of putting out, not only defensively, but midfield, Adam Wharton and the guys up front in Mateta and Eze and S and Sarr, you know, you look at a team that with City, if they're doing that slow build up and Palace can get themselves into their low block and then break quickly, depending on who's playing for City, Palace have to take advantage of that. They have to take advantage of that, and they, like you said, they're in good momentum, they're in good form, they've really got to go for it.
City are unbeaten in 10. Are they in good form?
Results-wise, yeah. But again, like Roy said, more often than not, it's not about how you perform in a final. It's about the result. So, and like he always says, City at this moment in time, you have to be at your best to beat City, and that's a good thing. That's a good place to go, especially in the final.
Yeah. What have you made of City? I mean, they're unbeaten in 10, as I say. We don't know whether Haaland's going to start. We assume he is, but we don't know. What would you say about the way they've played in the last few weeks?
I felt they were disappointed with the result last week, obviously, Southampton, but their stats were they obviously played some good stuff. They didn't put the ball in the back of the net, but they did get their mojo back a little bit. We saw that fighting spirit by beating Villa late on. So there's no doubt in my mind, I still have City as favourites today, but no doubt Palace have the players, particularly the attacking players, who can hurt City. But I would never bet against City, absolutely not. And you'd fully expect Haaland to play. You'd have to start Haaland. I'd be shocked if he's not.
You know, I'm hoping, Roy, you know what I'm hoping, guys, is that Palace don't make it like an easy game for City. Like, it's something that City can start. We know they're capable of 2 goals, maybe 3, in the first 10, 15 minutes. I want Palace to stay in this game, because I think the longer they stay in the game, the more chance they'll have of beating them. I think that this is a good opportunity for Palace.
We get the teams at about 12:30, so we'll bring them to you as soon as we can. And we're absolutely delighted to welcome Laura Woods back to our team today after her maternity break. Welcome back, Laura. Great to see you. Lots has happened since your trips to Cheshire United and Solihull Moors in those early rounds. And Karen Carney's with you. She can fill you in on all the details.
Oh, she certainly can. I have been loving spending my days with a little person, and today Karen Carney gets to continue that with me. Great to see you, Karen. Obviously a beautiful day for a cup final. We're just down this side at Wembley with the City fans, but without knowing the personnel yet, how do you think this game's going to break down, Kaz?
Yeah, look, I think Wrighty mentioned it, and also Dean Henderson in the pre-match chat there, that they're going to have to be disciplined, Palace. If they go after Manchester City, I think it'll be a difficult one, but we've got some clips to show it where you see that kind of defensive shape, nice and compact. You see it there, the midfield. That's a part of the pitch they want to protect today. They don't want to get overawed. They're not going to get in the trap. And this was in the semi-final. I thought Aston Villa really, really struggled to break them down. They will press, but in certain areas it's the wing backs that will go out to get it. But you won't see them coming out of their shape. That's the discipline.
Because if you do against City, it can be very dangerous, as we can see here.
But look, Roy mentioned it there. They have the quality, and if you try and give them the space and you give them the 1-2s and they try and play expansive, and Forest unfortunately are out of shape in this, as you mentioned, Laura, they have the quality to hurt you. And so I think it'll be really interesting, but I think Palace will be nice and defensive, especially first 15-20 minutes, and pick the moments when to attack.
Defensively as well, they've got a lot of physicality, don't they, Palace?
They do. We did the Fulham game in the quarter-final. It's something that really, really impressed me. That back three. This is a team that have only conceded one goal in this FA Cup competition. They won't be overawed. They're not going to be worried about being bullied. I know the gentleman mentioned about Haaland playing or not. I don't think it'll matter. Lacroix, he's physical. He will get nice and tight and nice and aggressive. They will not be intimidated in this FA Cup final.
Is that why, given the form in the FA Cup and everything that we've just mentioned, when you speak to Palace fans, they are optimistic? They've got a lot of heart today and a lot of actual confidence that they could pick up their first major trophy. Is that why?
Yeah, and look, also the form of City. You know, the last 9 Premier League games this season, they're probably not the City that walk onto a pitch and everyone's maybe thinking we might have lost this already because they have that aura. It's not the case. They have the quality, City, but the form that Palace are in, the fans, the occasion, we've got every chance.
OK, well, as I said in the studio, you might not necessarily want to bet against City, but the Palace fans that we can see, obviously, going to be very optimistic. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much. More from Laura and Karen later in the show. City aren't here yet, but they are literally staying opposite. They're not stuck on the Nurse Circle or anything. They'll be here in a minute. It's 15 years since Crystal Palace was saved from liquidation by a fan with a vision for better days. Next, we'll hear how Chairman Steve Parish has rebuilt the club from the brink of extinction to being on the verge of their best ever season. FA Cup final day here at Wembley Stadium in the sunshine, and Crystal Palace and Manchester City getting ready to square off. Lots of other sport for you to enjoy soon. Live coverage of the Tokyo E-Prix, the latest stop on the Formula E calendar. That's tomorrow morning, ITV4. Catch all the action from 6 a.m. There's Sunday series racing tomorrow afternoon, live from Newmarket. Coverage 3:30, ITV4. And next weekend, highlights of the EFL playoff finals here at Wembley. Sheffield United plays Sunderland for a place in the Premier League on Saturday. A championship spot is the prize for Charlton or Leyton Orient on Sunday. The spotlight on League 2 playoffs, bank holiday Monday. Turn over to ITV4 at 9 p.m. each evening. Lots of South London representation next weekend, like today. Eberechi Eze wound down from the Cup semi-final player of the match performance against Aston Villa by winning an online chess tournament and picking up £15,000 in the process. A man of many talents. Well, the Palace chairman, Steve Parish, travelled to the semi-final against Aston Villa on the London Underground with the club's fans. No sighting of him on Wembley Way just yet, but it's another example of how the South London-born chairman connects with supporters and the wider local community, as Gabriel Clark found out.
How you doing? You good? Good. How are you? Yeah, good. Nice to see you. It's stressful, isn't it? Because there's so much jeopardy. But in the end, we love football, don't we? You all right? How you good? Good. Like the beard? Yeah. It's good. I like that, yeah. I've got an 8-year-old, and he loves football. To the core of his being, he loves football. And he reminds me every day why we loved it and why we fell in love with it. There's the Crystal Palace. That was where the club was formed. That was where the Glass Palace was, right underneath that tower. We're in the heart of South London.
For all the FA Cup's fairy tale soul, in the Premier League age, finals have rarely been romantic.
Any more your cup finals, Scott?
Especially when ownership's involved. But in London SE25, the air is different.
Welcome to Crystal Palace, South London!
This goes beyond football. There's so much passion, there's so much heart. And when you've got someone who's real at the forefront, it becomes real to everyone.
Buying a club, it was a crazy risk, really. The club was in serious danger of liquidation. The club had stayed in the Championship just. And the administrator said it was really me or no one at that point.
Obsession and love and passion. We go to all games together. He kicks every ball and he just tries to make everything better. You know, he cares.
How are you? You good? Yeah, good. Julian's 4 times Player of the Year. Was at the club for how many years? Was it
15 years.
15 years.
If you see where we were when they took over and where we are now, then you have your answer there.
There's one thing about me that I think's been there most of my life, is being underestimated. I was born in a house 10 minutes away from where we're sitting. I haven't got a particularly cut glass British accent. It's estuary English, as one of my friends used to call it. But Palace is very much an underestimated club.
It breeds a fire to do more, to prove people wrong. But it's a South London thing.
When I arrived, we said the first hurdle for this club is to own South London. That's when we came up with that slogan.
South London and proud.
South London and proud, as we both are.
There's no pretentiousness. It's a feeling, it's a mood, it's an aura.
Think about the talent that comes out of South London. Football, music. You learn that nothing comes for free without hard work.
The grittiness of South. It starts in the cages. We breed good players. They come from here. That's the DNA.
South London on top!
It's hardship. It's struggle. It's a team that's never had enough money. And as a fan, I tell you something, it builds character.
It's the recurring theme of their FA Cup final story. Hope, then heartache. Images mirrored in 2016 and 1990.
I can remember the game was going on and I thought, I'm going to have the cup, I'm going to put it on my head. And then the goal went in, Mark Hughes. I can't look at the TV when that comes on because it's what could have been.
2016 hurt because for 8 minutes I really, really believed we'd won it.
Almost.
Well, unfortunately, this week it's getting a bit out of control.
Have you ever reached a point where you felt, I don't want the stress?
Yes. Yes. Everything's my fault. I remember we lost the game to Watford and we were somewhere near the bottom of the league, but I couldn't imagine actually feeling any worse. But I do believe that you are defined in the end by the most difficult days. It is your responsibility. You have to fix it.
Change and you've a chance. The Parish era has represented real progress. A record 12 consecutive Premier League seasons and a state-of-the-art academy. The hub of the Club of South London's gathering force.
He just had a vision for the club and he said, we've got to get the academy going. If we get the academy going, the players in our area won't go to Chelsea, won't go to Arsenal, they'll come here.
A lot of them come from very difficult backgrounds, whereas here, you know, they learn to people want the best for them. And we really believe that that's helping us, you know, improve the talent pool. With anything, it's easy to get trapped in this is it for us, this is all we can ever be. They've got all the money. You can always find a reason why not, but we wanted South London to be proud of us.
Oh, go on, what are you saying? It's your boy Jay Knox here at Wembley. On top of an open-top bus. The semi-final, you could feel the aura. Everyone was vibrant, everyone was positive. It's a mood that is going to just take the streets. It's going to be epic.
Crystal Palace, no major trophies.
Well, it would be the realisation of a dream, definitely.
He's a fan who's ended up being the chairman of his club, and that would be every fan's dream. So let's do it. Come on, mate, let's do it.
You better be worried. You better!
It's that vindication. You get what you finally deserve. And for Steve, he'll have delivered.
Success stories are also based about knowing when the time is right to leave. How long do you give it?
I think it's all about who the best person is to do it. I'm acutely aware of the fact that you have to go sometime. So we have to find the right moment. Maybe the FA Cup's the drop the mic moment if we win it. Maybe.
I'm not sure about that.
Nor am I.
Ian, watching that, there's quite clearly a targeted effort from Crystal Palace at what is a very fertile ground in South London. Here's some names that have come from South London. Tammy Abraham, Rio Ferdinand, Michael Antonio, Jadon Sancho, Wilf Zaha, Ademola Lookman, yourself, your great friend David Rokos.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's like Steve Parish with Palace gone. This is such a massive, as I say, fertile ground. We've got to make the most of this.
Absolutely, and so to see Palace then get that academy into play, it's a great move from their point of view. Why should players from the South London be leaving and going to a Chelsea or an Arsenal? You know what I mean, or anywhere else for that matter. When you can breed them there, they can come to the academy and they can get through, and they've got a chance to play at Palace. It's a great move from them, and I'm hoping that in the years to come that we'll start to see the fruits of that.
It also means South London people support a South London side because there's a connection, and they're very proud of it.
Well, they are, and you know, like I say, the Palace fans and having a day like this, like I say, 1990 was all you wanted to do was bring it for them, and they're back again. This is the third time, and you're just hoping that today can be the day because they do deserve something. Like I mentioned, that Steve Coppell side, I thought it deserved something, so hopefully they could do it today.
They've been in the Premier League 12 years in a row now. They're a very established Premier League team. What do you think of in terms of identity when you look at Palace?
Well, people talk about that working class type of the people behind the club. There's great hunger there. They've obviously they've had their ups and downs, like lots of clubs out there. And it's nice to see pieces like that, the academy, people working hard in the background. And then you get days out at Wembley. But no one's going to hand you the FA Cup. For all your history and the tough days you've had, you've got to go and earn the right. So that's why it's such big responsibility for these players. But they are capable of doing it. They have the talent. Defensively, they have to be aggressive. They have to get the pressing right. But it's going out and doing it. For all the background, it means very little when the referee blows that whistle. They've got to go out and do it.
They have actually given City some problems. I know they lost 5-2 at the Etihad not that long ago, but they were 2 up, and they would have been 3 up. Actually, it was Ezu just straight offside. City know that Palace can cause them problems, don't they?
Oh, definitely. They're very rigid and strong in defence, but they obviously have the capabilities of causing City numerous problems, and we see in the past that City is vulnerable to the counter-attack and the pace, and obviously Palace have that in abundance.
Yeah, they have to be clinical. I think there's no doubt about City will have 60-65% possession, no doubt about that. So for Palace sitting in, I still think almost the easy part. It's what to do when they're in possession and clinical, just like they were against Aston Villa. All the stats were against them, but in terms of putting the ball in the back of the net, they were brilliant on the day.
You know, the thing with City and the way they build up, it's very slow. It feels very methodic, and I think that suits Palace, simply because Palace want to be in that block. So I'd like to see maybe City move it quicker to see what that does to Palace in respect of their game plan. Because if they do it like that, City, and continue to play like that, I think it will suit Palace.
We're up the Crystal Palace end. It will be absolutely bouncing, and here come kickoff. A lot of them are in Covent Garden, as they were before the semi-final as well. And you can see there what it means to them to be in a third ever FA Cup final. And it's now that I have to warn Roy that we are going to talk about the 1990 final, Roy.
Right?
We have to see the 1990 final. Gary O'Reilly scored a very good goal, I remember.
It was brilliant. Honestly,
scored a good header.
Just to get a goal in the final must have been great for Gary.
Yeah, here you go. Now, you're on the bench. You're coming back from a broken leg.
Yeah.
You're desperate to get on. I was listening to a podcast with Steve Coppell this week.
Yeah. You know what? Even watching the goals, you watch that goal, it looked like an easy goal. That one should have been cleared. Mark Hughes finishes it brilliantly.
So you're 2-1 down, and on you come.
I know. This is my whole life, because this is what I wanted to win it so badly, because the FA Cup meant so much to me, and then to do it with a Palace side at that stage would have been amazing.
It's poor defending, doesn't it? It's poor defending.
Keep it going. You see, like with that one, Boogs, that one there, there's 7 minutes This is 7. Look where the goalie is. I cannot get over that. I can't even watch it. I don't even want to watch it. It's too close.
And you won the cup with Arsenal twice, but you say that would have been the greatest of all time.
It would have been simply because from where I came from, I got to Palace and then got myself into a situation where we did become the team of the 80s for Crystal Palace. Got to the first division. We finished third. Got to an FA Cup final. It would have been great for that team to have won something.
Saying that, Riley does love a sob story, doesn't he? He loves a sob story.
That's not a sob story, that's real life, bro. That's real life.
It does underline, though, just how hard it is to win. As I say, you're 7 minutes away there, 9 minutes away in 2016. I mean,
I know, but you got to play till the final.
Yes, no, that's my point.
Yeah, but Roy,
stop saying that.
Yeah, but Roy, you do get
the minutes to go. The referee should have blown early. Just
you know what happens? What happens is with 7 minutes, you're looking up and say 7 minutes, and you're starting to think about, oh my God, I'm gonna lift it. Bam.
Yeah,
that's the mistake you made.
It's so tough to win. That's what we mean. Right, let's hear from City's point of view. Their centre half, Ruben Diaz, with Gabriel.
Ruben, a third cup final for you. To be back at Wembley now, sum up the occasion for you and the players and the club.
Well, it's very special for all of us. It's the third in a row. It means a lot to all of us. It means a lot to the club, to the fans, and we really want to win today. It's a very special moment of the season for us. We can finalize it, and we want to finalize it the best way possible. So it means the world to us today.
You've had some hard knocks this season. How is the belief in this squad? Because you have so many winners. So when you arrive here today, is the belief as strong as ever?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we all know we had a difficult season, and still we made it through to be in an FA Cup final. And I think everyone involved know how difficult it is to reach this final. So today, we just want to be here. We want to be present, say yes, and get what we came for.
What about the Crystal Palace challenge? They're looking for the first trophy in their history. It feels so special to their fans. What will their team bring?
Well, they'll be a very difficult opponent. We know it. We've played a few times against them this season. We know how difficult they can be, and we know that we'll need our best version in order to win.
We're looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
We've got an hour till kickoff, and after the break, we will bring you the confirmed teams for the 2025 FA Cup final, and we'll hear from that man, Pep Guardiola, and Oliver Glasner, very short. Manchester City have arrived. They are staying bang opposite the ground. That man starts, Erling Haaland. So does Omar Mamouche, and Kevin De Bruyne starts the FA Cup final. The big hitters are out for Pep Guardiola as they aim to win the FA Cup for an 8th time. Now, Crystal Palace select the same team that won in the semi-final. 5 Englishmen in it, so that equals the most since Manchester United in 2018 in this showpiece occasion. It picks itself the way they play, the momentum, the speed on the break, the passing of Walton. It picks itself, surely.
Obviously, yeah, and they're very comfortable in the fact that City will have a lot of the ball. You look at someone like Adam Walton, you know, if he's not picked up, I feel he's someone that they need to pay close attention to him, because if he gets time and space and then he's able to put it into Eze or Sarr, who wants to stretch, Mateta wants to stretch, then you're going to have a problem, City. They're going to have a massive problem.
Let's have a look at the Manchester City team. As I just said, the big hitters are out today. Erling Haaland, who has never scored at Wembley and hasn't scored in a final for City. Doku and Savinho with the width. Marmouche just behind Haaland. De Bruyne and Silva. No Kovacic then in the team. And Nico O'Reilly, who had such a big impact coming off the bench at Bournemouth in the game we did there in the quarter-final. Let's hear from Pep Guardiola with Gabriel Clark.
Pep, you're used to this occasion, but walking in here today, does it feel as special as ever?
It's better to be here than home, that's for sure.
You've had some hard knocks this season with your team. Have you had to build that belief, or is there always that belief in your players when they arrive at an occasion like this?
Listen, I know that everything is a disaster. I know that, okay? I know that, but our standards, they know it's not necessary to tell everyone how was that. But we are in the final of the FA Cup. We are fighting for qualify for the Champions League with the huge contenders. We won the Community Shield. Okay, everything is bad, but we are here. So let's go to enjoy it, and we'll see what happens.
Tell us about your team. Mateo Kovacic, not available.
He doesn't feel perfect. Like Tuesday we have a game, and I don't want to take a risk.
And Erling Haaland, was that a straightforward decision? You had a great run with Erling when he wasn't available. Was it a simple decision, that selection today?
Well, with Erling Haaland, we won the treble. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And scored I don't know how many goals this season. We were lucky that we have him in the beginning of the season. We were not good with his goals. So I don't know we'll be able to play all the game, but I decided to play with him.
What's the challenge that Crystal Palace pose?
So strong in the set pieces and the transitions, especially the left to right, and good quality when they can play. They are a really good team. Second part of the season, Oliver make an incredible job with his team.
They're a team as well, less than 30% possession against Fulham, against Aston Villa. They're a team that seem to be very good without the ball.
Yeah.
That counter-attacking threat.
Yeah. Listen, every team manager can play wherever they want. So sometimes they want to give the ball to the opponent. Sometimes the opponent is better. You cannot have the ball. So it's what it is. So we see what is the game and try.
And Crystal Palace have huge support. It's obviously could be an historic day for them today. You have big support. How significant can they be?
We love them. I just can say thank you. So it's not easy today, you know, to come from, you know, economically it's not easy. So for Crystal Palace it's easy because they live in London. So maybe one day the FA Cup will be played in the north, and we'll be easy for all the fans that arrive in the finals in the north, the teams that play in the north of England.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Let's have another look at that City team. Just up front, Marmoush and Haaland. The last time they started together, they both scored. That was mid-March against Brighton. De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva in there, Jolien. Bernardo Silva's, they're both brilliant footballers, but can I say they're both past their best? I tread very carefully when I say things like that.
Yeah, I think you're being polite enough to say that. It's not been their most effective season, but more than that, it's even if they were at their best, they're not very defensive-minded, and that would be the worry for me. That's a very attacking team from Pep, a very aggressive team, so it's exciting. But in regards of picking up Eze when he finds the space and out of possession, all of a sudden Palace win the ball back, their first thought is we in possession, and all of a sudden now you've got to think where's Eze, and then the recovery runs might not be as effective.
Will Akanji go out? Will they do that?
He might do. Akanji might do that, but I don't see that happening that often because he then he leaves Diaz exposed, and he don't tend to do that, especially with the pace of Sarr.
Yeah, if Palace are aggressive in the winning the areas, as brilliant as Silva and De Bruyne are, their recovery ones won't be good. They're not the quickest. I don't think they'll be that determined to get back. Brilliant in possession, but that could be an area that
Would that give you a lift
Palace,
if you were Palace?
I think so. I think so. No, it's easier said than done. It's easy talking about it here, going, you've got to do that. But like they were against Villa, if they can win it in them areas and are aggressive at the right time, then they're in on the back four.
But what it also does, especially with Doku and Silvino, it's going to make Palace's wing-backs stay back. They won't come
try
back.
And pin them back.
Oh, definitely. So that's going to create a back five. So hopefully that creates more space and an overload in midfield.
Okay, so they're saying we're going to pin the wing-backs back in their defensive areas, which means there's less pressure defensively.
So now you're outnumbering. You've got three midfielders versus there two. So hopefully you'd think City come out on top.
Yeah, but then you look at the form of their wing-backs. The only thing I would say is that obviously the final ball of Palace's wing-backs, Munoz and Mitchell. But they will be themselves trying to get forward. They themselves will be trying to get forward, especially with Walton at the back, making sure that he blocks anything that's coming through. So I think they're very well set up for this City side.
Was there any parallel universe in which Haaland was not picked? I've watched a lot of stuff this week and a lot of Manchester City journos saying that the way they've played when he's been injured, a sort of box of four of midfield, Savinho one side, Marmoush the other, they've controlled the game really well. They weren't saying don't pick Haaland.
Yeah.
But was he always going to be picked, even if he was a bit off form?
It doesn't matter what they do in respects of when he's not playing. His goal scoring record and what he does, I think he's got 21 goals in 28 games, and you've got a final. You're going to play him. You're going to play him. He has to play.
And the worst stat for Palace is he's not scored in 5 cup finals. That's a really bad
Five games here.
Games here, for City. Yeah. That's a bad stat for Palace.
It is.
That will change.
And they would want him not to be playing, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
if you were Lacroix, you'd think, I hope they leave him out.
They'd want to be seeing Haaland on the bench.
Yeah, no defender wants to see that name on the team sheet, 100%.
Yeah. Let's hear from the first Austrian to lead his side out in an FA Cup final. Palace's Oliver Glasner with Gabriel.
Oliver, you've had some very special occasions in your managerial career, but today, leading a team out at the FA Cup final, how do you place it?
A special moment, for all of us, for myself, especially for Crystal Palace, for all the players, for the club, for our fans. So we are really looking forward to the game.
It's the same team that started the semi-final. What are the qualities you most want from that game today?
we expect City having more the ball than we will have, and this because they have it against most of the teams, and especially they play a very attacking lineup today, and and then waiting for our moments, and the players is a little bit similar than Villa is playing with many attacking players, but giving you space for transitions, and this is what we have to wait for, and then we have to be very efficient today, because I'm pretty sure we'll get a few chances, and then it's important to take them.
For many, Adam Wharton was the player of the match in the semi-final. What do you hope his influence can be today?
Adam reads the game so well, and he has so quick solutions in possession, because we need to have the ball. In moments because otherwise the pressure increases, and Adam is a player who can bring the game forward, and also in defense he reads the passing line, he closes the passing lines, because City, they always want to play in the pocket, having there De Bruyne. We don't know exactly how they are playing, but De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Mamouche, having wide wingers. So he's very intelligent, and this is what we hope that he brings into the team.
And have you talked about this idea of making history, being the first men, if you like, or have you not needed to raise it?
No, I didn't need to raise it. Everybody knows what we are playing for. We know about the occasion, and it's now not to overthink and not to be over-motivated. It's now stick to the plan, stick to our strengths. What brought us into the final, and when we were winning 3-0 at Fulham, we were winning 3-0 against Villa, so why changing many things? Yes, we have 1-2 adjustments, what you need when you play City, but everything else, we have belief, we have confidence in our team, in the way we are playing, and this is what we want to show.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, Eberechi Eze, this is a language, stylish, elegant player. Is he a big match player? Do you sense that?
Huge player. His end product has improved so much, certainly over the last few months. What he's got, he can go past people. That is tough in football. It's easy to stop people from playing, but if you've got people who can go past players and then have an end product, a final pass or a goal, then fantastic. Again, he'll have to perform today.
Well, he scored in the quarterfinals, scored in the semi-finals, scored against City, scored for England. So he's proved he can rise to this sort of occasion.
He's stepped up, especially off of the back of the coming back off the Euros. It took him a bit of a while to get in the season, but in that area there, Poogs, once he's getting the ball, it doesn't matter if he's got people in and around him, and that's what he's capable of doing. He can find that half a yard. You can't give him the space, because if he cuts in and does this, you know, he's...
Remember that Fulham had played well for you and I were there. First 20, it was all Fulham, then he pops up with that.
It pops up, and that's what he's got. Again, in all those games you mentioned, very big games, he's come up and he's done. This is fantastic. That's brilliant. People think that the goalkeeper maybe should have done better there.
Yeah, and this is the problem that City are going to face, because it's going to be Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva, but Eze especially, he's an exciting talent.
But that was a question mark over him. We knew he did a lot of talent, but the key is to go to another level is that end product. And over the last few months, that has improved so much.
Do we just have to accept that there are some sportsmen and women like this? Almost the game comes so easily, and there's such a language style about them. That's who they are, and they do it. There's no point wanting them to work harder. And
I kind of get jealous when I see players like that, because they make it look so easy, and the way he guides past players, like really good players and good defenders who are quick, he just guides past them like they're not there. But again, I go back to, but what he's improved so much is the next part. That's why he's got to another level.
Absolutely. I think if you're a neutral watching this, enjoy watching Eze. He's a fabulous player. Jean-Philippe Mateta, here's the one. Oliver Glasner comes in, and the Frenchman has now scored 30 goals in 56 games. What has Glasner unlocked? And he's had this really bad injury against Millwall earlier in the Cup. What's he unlocked in Mateta?
Well, obviously, you know, you're always watching a player like that, and you want to see how he finishes. But in respect of his hold-up play and he's in his space, running into space and opening space for people like Eze, then you get people like Walton and people like that who can get on the ball, who can give him it. But he can get the ball, he can turn in midfield. If he's got people going beyond him, he can hold it up, he can finish.
But that's the thing, I think in all these clips you see, he's not isolated, and I think that's the difference. The team's a lot more compact. I think on the previous manager, he was like, be on your own, can you hold it up, can you turn, can you run, and do everything on your own, but now he can get wide because he knows there's going to be support.
Didn't use his attributes, the last manager. Didn't use them at all.
And he looks like a good character, doesn't he? He looks a likeable guy. The teammates seem to like him, and he's a proper team player. Again,
and is that the reality that Roy Hodgson was a more defensive coach, and that's why he didn't want his fullbacks going so far up the pitch?
He wanted to stay deep.
Wide men sort of stuck to the touchline.
Exactly, and then you've got Mateta up front, who obviously was seeing now what he's capable of, who had to hold the ball and try and wait for people to get there. Now they've got more dynamic players. in like a Walton, in Sarr, in Eze, who they can get the ball to, and he can make runs, and they could do their stuff as well. And then they could get the ball into the box with him with the fullbacks. He's got a lot of ammunition coming towards him.
Is it one of those as well you need to say to him, and this is you, the coach now, Roy, believe how good you can be. Maybe he didn't quite have that
self-confidence. Possibly so. Again,
played in the Olympics as well, so that's helped.
A new voice, a bit of success, different experiences, and again, no doubt about it, confidence and belief. Scoring them goals, you saw stats improve so much over the last year. New manager, sometimes that's what a player needs. And again, it does help when you've got good players around you.
We're going to be heading out onto the pitch next to take a closer look at more of the key players as Kevin De Bruyne looks to finish his Manchester City career with another FA Cup victory, to add yet another winner's medal to his already very impressive collection.
England's new era begins.
Hey, come on, let's go!
Away we go. It's absolute top class. I did a bronze back inside. That's brilliant. And it's the perfect debut. Kane is brought it down and gets his customary goal. Is it going to find a way through? It does. Lucy Bronze. The first step towards a second start goes smoothly.
Lots more football to come on ITV over the next few months. The Lionesses tune up for the summer's Euros as they take on Portugal and Spain in the Nations League. We'll have coverage of the Euros as well in July. And Thomas Tuchel's men's side continue their qualifying campaign for next year's World Cup against Andorra in June before taking on Senegal in a friendly at the City Ground. Crystal Palace running out into the Wembley sunshine to warm up for their third appearance in the FA Cup final, and Ian and Roy and I are out on the pitch now, and we're going to have a look at Adam Wharton in particular, 21-year-old who made an appearance at the Euros, signed from Blackburn Rovers, just come back from an injury. So highly rated. What is it about Adam Wharton which makes everyone so excited?
He's a classy-looking player. He always gives himself time. He always looks like he knows what he's doing. He's got a picture in his mind when he receives the ball. He's obviously got vision what he's going to do next. Very classy. He played really well in this semi-final. Who are you waving to, right?
Pep just waved to me, sorry.
Yeah, but a classy player. Now he's been linked with a few moves in terms of bigger clubs. But I like everything about him. There's parts of his game he still needs to improve on, of course. But if he's given time on the ball, he plays in between the lines. Really good.
He likes to play forward, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's very progressive.
And he can get himself out of tight spaces in respect of skill and then moving, and then, like you say, with Sarr or an Eze or a Mateta to it can be very, very dangerous. You know, he's just got all the qualities. I was delighted when he got into Euro squad. I thought he was going to actually get some games, but now we're seeing the player and what he's capable of doing when he's got quality players around him.
You hear about on the half turn, Roy, don't you? Just explain to everybody what that means, because that's one of his strengths, isn't it?
Yeah, that's one of his strengths. Well, what you want as a mindset as a footballer is the first option if you're a midfielder is, can I pass it forward? So he's always looking forward.
Yes.
He's positive. And that needs a bit of courage. Sometimes you have to go back. So he's brave. He's always got a picture in his mind again. That half shoulder, Paul Scholes is brilliant in it.
Yes.
And again, if he can do it forward, and he's kind of got a lazy style, but he's very effective.
Left-footed player.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. Daniel Munoz from Colombia as well, because they play this wing-back system. Wow, this is a man.
Yeah.
He is so fit. He gets up and down all the time. He's got a goal in him as well.
Yeah.
He's been a massive impact, had a massive impact.
He has had a massive impact. I think at the start, they was a little bit worried about the fact that the final product wasn't as great as it was, but I think that was just him getting used to the league. I think that now he's got the confidence. He's scoring goals, he's setting up goals, and he's got, like you mentioned, a lot of energy. Yeah. It's going to be tough for them down that side because he's going to keep going forward. And Mitchell's going to keep going forward.
But I'm also, obviously, you're always wanting a good end product, but at least sometimes if he gets up there and it's not great ball, he gets you up the pitch all the time. He's always getting you up the pitch, and that obviously that's really important for him.
Is it a bit of a game of bluff sometimes, Roy? Because the wing-backs want to get up the pitch. Doku and Savinho want to pin them in, and vice versa. So is it a question of choosing your moments?
That's the battles, and who's getting on top, and who's brave enough, who's got the courage to go forward, or to pass it forward. Obviously, when they're making their runs, the people have got to pick them out. So that's the game that's going to be gone through. So we know the importance of the spine in your team, but the wide positions today, particularly from the full-backs from Palace, is going to be huge.
I think it's vital. Like Jolin mentioned it. I think it's vital what they do to deal with Eze in that 10 space now with no holding midfielder. is someone going to come out of there? And if he does come out there, can Mateta then take advantage of the space that's left?
And when you're a full-back or a wing-back, yeah, part of the game is making challenges, but you also then say to the wide players, are you going to follow me that way? And listen, we know a lot of the good players like going that way, but do they really want to go back?
Exactly.
You like the physicality of the Palace defence as well, don't you? Which they'll need up against Haaland.
They'll have to. I know it's a cup final and people think it's cagey, but they've got to almost try and treat it like a league game. You have to be aggressive. I know it's easier said than done because of the big pitch and City will dominate possession, but pick the right times, which you did in the semi-finals. They've got to get that decision-making right, when to be aggressive and when to go and hit people. And then when you hit people and you win the ball, then you go and play.
I think Lacroix, he looks at what I've seen of him up to this point, his physicality, his strength, he's good in the air. I think that the Haaland matchup will be something that he'll be looking forward to, especially in an FA Cup final. If he can stamp him out and cause him a lot of problems and give him no space, I think that would do even more for his
And that's
quality.
what Lacroix will be thinking. You always think about winning your individual battles. So Lacroix thinks, if I can get the best of Haaland, that will give us an added chance of winning this cup.
It absolutely does.
And what Palace want to do after the game is, you're playing a brilliant team, it's a big cup final, but play to your best of your ability. Afterwards, if you get beat, you hold your hand up, but don't hang around, wait and step off Man City. Be aggressive, go and play, and if that's good enough, fantastic. If not, you hold your hand up.
Well, it's hot out here as well, so the subs, as ever, will come into plan. Let's go to Laura. There she is there with Karen and Jolien, and they're talking about Manchester City.
Just about braving the sun over here. I think all of us need a little bit more suntan lotion. Pep's just on the pitch over there. He's standing there watching his team. He's been having a chat with a few of the players. He's watching now, and you said earlier on, you're quite surprised that he's had this aggressive approach. Did he need to do that, Jolien?
I don't know if he needed to, but it's a very offensive team. I don't see any recognised defensive mindset players in midfield, so that's the kind of thing
Does it worry you?
It doesn't worry me. It excites me. It's going to be a very competitive game, regardless of who picks. But there's probably more game changes in the starting lineup than I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, just behind us, Kevin De Bruyne warming up, getting used to things out on the pitch today, a place that he's been a number of times. He's so used to finals as well with City. Potentially today could be his last shot, though, to win a trophy with City. It's going to be quite emotional for him and his fans.
He's been here at Manchester City for over 10 years, 19 trophies that he's won, so can he make it 20? Today I heard the gentleman speaking about maybe the legs in that midfield, but if it's potentially your last game or so and maybe your last final at City, I don't think that matters. I actually think he'll run for a brick wall if he can win that 20th trophy today, so I don't think that comes into it. He might sit a little bit deeper, as we saw in the system, but I think it excites him. I think he's going to be on a lot of the ball today.
There's other players as well that City potentially need to step up, especially with the old guard kind of bowing out now, Savinho and also Doku.
Yeah, it's definitely a transition period. Summer coming. But in regards to Doku, Savinho, they're going to operate wide areas and they're going to have to be patient. They're going to have to stay there, and hopefully that means that Palace ups and drop into a back five and then creates more space in midfield and then evidently creates an overload.
O'Reilly as well, a big moment for him and a player who they wouldn't necessarily be here without him.
Yeah, definitely. I think his impact against Bournemouth was massive. Pep spoke about the importance of that and then predicted that he was going to start in the semi-final, even though it was like weeks ahead. But in regards of his impact, he's not fazed by these occasions, and obviously Pep's deemed that him worthy to start today.
We were listening to the guys earlier on talking about the fact that Haaland was ever really a question if he was going to be involved in this team or not. And Pep's answer was literally, we won the treble with him, of course. How important is it for Palace to try and nullify him today, and how do they do that?
We mentioned it earlier about how aggressive the back three, Lacroix in particular, are. So I think they'll try and get in between Haaland. People might say, well, why would you do that? But I think there's been evidence of people like Saliba in the past that have showed if you can rough him up, you might have a chance. But Lacroix is very, very physical. But going back to your point on the wingers today, that's why they're in the team. They're there to give the service to Haaland. And Haaland is a team, doesn't have too many chances, too many touches. But the touches he does have huge impact. And you need impact in the final today, Laura.
This Palace side as well have had such a brilliant run in the FA Cup. It's a different thing when you get to the final, when you haven't necessarily won it yet. Does that play any part in the match today?
Yeah, experience, personality, they all play a factor. And it's how well you can handle the occasion. And a lot of City players, pretty much all of them, have been in massive games. So, yeah, I'm sure they'll be trying to use that as a positive. But listen, you have to execute, and Palace are very resilient and conceded one goal in the whole competition, so that'll give them confidence as well.
It's the kind of game you look at as a neutral and you think this could be fireworks, Karen.
Well, we hope so. I do, sorry, Jolien. But no, I do. I think the first 15 minutes, as we always talk about in major finals, is managing that occasion. I think it'll be more for Palace, but really interested to see, as you said, it's a super attacking team from City today.
All right, we're going to get ourselves off the pitch and go back to Mark, who's moved himself back pitch side.
Back into the shade as we remind you of what's at stake today as we edge ever closer to kick-off here at Wembley. For Crystal Palace, a win would be a first major trophy in the club's long history after those two very near misses in the cup final in 1990 and 2016. Victory for Manchester City would mean an 8th FA Cup win, drawing them level with Liverpool, Chelsea and Tottenham, and just behind Manchester United and Arsenal on the list of the FA Cup's most successful teams. Well, the vast majority of Palace fans in the red and blue today as they will their side towards a very first FA Cup, their first major trophy. I know you won the Zenith Data Systems, didn't you, with Palace?
Palace, yeah, I scored 2 in that one.
Sorry. But with respect, that was not a major trophy. No. This is, and it's all under Oliver Glasner, the first Austrian to manage. I was really struck when we spoke to him before the Fulham game. Very calm, loves being involved in the game of football, doesn't want to overcomplicate things. Won the Europa League with Eintracht Frankfurt, got to the German Cup final. Out of serious pedigree, isn't he?
Yeah, serious pedigree, obviously very good coach, very good with the way he sets his team up. And the players he's got and the way he's put them in the square pegs, in square holes, I was going to say, square spaces. The fact is that he's got a team that are good, young, athletic, and are capable. That's what he's got at the moment. And you know, he looks like somebody who is very calm. He doesn't look like somebody's going in there and blasting them. He's just very calm about what they're capable of doing.
Yeah, and they're good to watch. Like Ian said there, obviously they set up quite defensively, which will be today, but when they get it, they're exciting to watch. They've got talented players, they're exciting, and you mentioned there, he's calm, isn't he? He looks
lovely to be.
When you think of the season started, Palace were struggling. Obviously, players not in great form, but he kept ahead. I know they're getting the rewards.
Yes.
Didn't win till the 9th league game, having finished last season so well. Everybody was a bit surprised. Lots of reasons. Elisa went to Bayern Munich. Quite a few of the players have been in the Euro, so maybe a little bit of a hangover from that. Jolien, however good you are as a defender, when you face real pace, that asks you a question, doesn't it? And the City defence, those 3 up front from Palace have just that.
Definitely. And City love, and we know how high Pep wants to keep his teams and keep them compact. But, yeah, I don't care how fast you are as a defender. The last thing you want to do is be in multiple races, and that's the way they play. They've had a lot of success, obviously, doing it, but in a final, there's probably less time and limited time to recover from them experiences.
If I'm Palace, I'm going to get Mateta going long. First 5-10 minutes, go long. Get Sarr up next to him. Get Eze behind. Let them know what kind of game you're going to be.
Stretch the game,
absolutely.
Is that? Yes.
Absolutely. Keep them down in the City half and keep them under pressure when you get there, and then take the chances if they come.
Sounds easy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Very easy standing here.
I think City have coped with all them challenges over the years pretty well.
Of course.
But yeah, again, it's easier said than done. I'll go back to it. They'll get chances. They've just got to be clinical.
We talk a lot about Eze, but Sarr in the semi-final scored twice. He had arguably almost as good a game as
I think he's reaching the potential that we all seen and believed he could reach at Watford. I think now he's finding the level of consistency and impact on games, and Roy spoke on the importance of that. These players are very exciting. It's just finding the moments more frequent than not on the bigger stages. And you get that now with this generation of player. They tend to thrive on the bigger stage. The more excited they get, the lights are on. Now he has an opportunity to be a Palace legend.
We heard about him. Mane was telling us about him when he was at Watford. Look after this guy. This guy is a good player. He's coming. And obviously everything what's happened to him, he's now found himself back at Palace. And when you look at what Eze gives in respect of coming off, holding, linking, playing. He goes the other way in respects of the opposite of Eze. He wants to stretch. He wants to be on the last defender. And we've seen, like in the semi-final, he'll go through and he will finish if given the opportunity.
Yeah, he's dynamic. He's got running power. He runs from him, run forward. Very difficult to stop that.
Thomas Tuchel is here. Gareth Southgate, his predecessor, who, of course, captained Crystal Palace. He's here as well. Do you believe in it when people like me say, oh, they froze on the big occasion? Have you seen that from players, from teammates, for whom it's a hot day anyway, but suddenly the occasion just deadens their legs and they have no energy?
That's part of the challenge, but obviously we're just looking at Palace here. I don't get that feeling that it's going to be a too big occasion.
But it tends to be an individual rather than a team, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course. But that's where you get the experienced players. There's a right mix to them. We talk about their strengths. They're a physically strong team. They're dynamic. They've got some good young players. So I don't see that happening at the Palace. Listen, if they go down after a couple of minutes, it's a big test for them. But I just think there's more to this than just that group. And they've had a taste of winning here in the semi-final.
Oh, look at that cheer. Oh, I thought they'd seen Steve Coppell on the big screen. Steve Coppell and Alan Smith there, the great duo from 1990.
Fantastic to see them here. It's fantastic to see the boss here. And Alan Smith, two unbelievable servants for Crystal Palace. I really hope it can happen for them too. Really, really do.
Absolutely be brilliant. We talked a lot about Palace, right, from the Manchester City point of view. Savinho and Doku, they hit the ground running. Jack Grealish is on the bench today. These are the first choice wide players, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they're the future in terms of the wide and the winger players, but now they have to produce. We speak about consistency with Eze and Sarr. They have to find that same level of consistency. I think there's no question in their ability, ever. As we've seen Doku in recent weeks win games single-handedly, but now he's going to have to start and deal with the pressure of being the main man. I think that's a different level of pressure as well. When you're an impact player and you've got the likes of Haaland and you've got the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, that will get the recognised attention. All of a sudden, now it's on you. Can you produce?
That's Julian doing very well through the Glad All Over Crystal Palace anthem, which Ian's enjoying there. How much have you enjoyed watching Doku this season? Because he likes to take a player on, doesn't he? And he likes to make things happen.
We know what he's capable of. We know what his strengths are. You know, he's somebody that, when he gets the ball, he wants to take the defender on. He's got unbelievable pace. You know, obviously wants to cut back inside on that right foot, maybe take the shot or lay it off, but he is very dangerous, especially if left in a one-on-one situation. Again, with him, it will come down to his final ball in the box. If he gets that right, it's a problem for anyone.
Yeah, we talk about City's positives, but they'll still be wounded from last year's final against United. That was a big disappointment for them. So they won't want that feeling again today.
I mean, they've almost admitted that having won the league 4 times in a row, never know and had done it before, that they almost took their eye off the ball a little bit, Jolien. I mean, they're only humans. It happens sometimes.
Yeah, and it's going to be virtually impossible to stay in that level forever. 4 in a row, no one's done it, so they've reached a pinnacle and a level of status that they will keep this group of players in iconic status for forever. But in regards of now and today, it's all about this final.
Do you look at players like De Bruyne, like Bernardo? I mean, we know De Bruyne obviously, but Bernardo Silva, quite a few of them, Gundogan, and think sooner rather than later there is going to be a big regeneration. So for a lot of them, this might be the last hurrah at Wembley anyway.
I doubt it's going to be the last hurrah, but yes, definitely there's a transition coming. There has to be, because as you said, the age of these players. But in previous years and previous transitions, there's always been recognised players there to transition for, and we don't see them ones coming behind. Like before Bernardo Silva, it was David Silva. Before Kevin De Bruyne, it was Yaya. Now you just don't have that level behind them to hopefully emulate.
And they'll still have that hunger there. From these experienced players, we all know when you win something, you just get a taste for it. And these players like De Bruyne, great players from Man City. I know he's leaving, but he'll want to finish on a high.
Absolutely. Well, they'll be determined to, as we said. 2011, Jolien was here, won the FA Cup under Roberto Mancini, and that started with that literally was the tipping point, wasn't it? Everything is traced back from City in terms of its wins to your day here against Stoke City.
Yeah, for me it was so important. Again, it was the first trophy that transitioned to this period, and I've had so much success off the back of that. So yeah, we can't dwell on that and you can't get carried away, but to say this is unsuccessful and to look back 14 years and that was so monumental is crazy to me.
Well, we had Glad all over. It's only right we have Blue Moon as well. We've got to be absolutely fair. From Palace's point of view, to have a chance of keeping Eze and Wharton and people, they need to win things like this, don't they, to have a chance?
Absolutely, but if you're looking at Eze and Wharton, you know, the quality that they've got, it's going to be very difficult for Palace to keep hold of those players, especially if they can perform on days like this, because they are that kind of player that will want to maybe go to the next level. But what you want as a player for Palace is to actually win something for them.
Absolutely. One final break, then it's the national anthems, it's Abide With Me, it's all the cup final traditions on the way. getting ever closer to all the FA Cup final pre-match traditions. The players, Jack Grealish shaking hands. As you can see there with Prince William, we'll have the band of His Majesty's Royal Marines entertaining the crowd. We'll have Abide With Me as well, the handshakes, the national anthem, and then the FA Cup final. Could be the greatest day in the history of Crystal Palace, or it could be Manchester City's 8th FA Cup triumph. Gary Lockyer has already delivered the match ball. He's the leading scorer in the FA Cup with Ashford United in the early rounds. Abide With Me is going to be sung by Sinead Ashiokai. After that, our commentary team of Lee Dixon, Ali McCroyston and Sam Matterface will take over.
Please join us now in FA Cup tradition as Abide With Me is performed on stage by Sinead Ashiokai and the massed bands of His Majesty's Royal Marines. Wembley, where eagles dare, and the blue moon hopes to show that it can still rise on the big occasion. Afternoon, everyone. We are in illustrious company at Wembley. 2 former England managers and 1 current England managers here to witness the season's showpiece event. The 100-strong massed bands of His Majesty's Royal Marines are getting the ceremony underway. His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales ready to join the festivities. And these specially designed banners are being placed by 180 sappers from the Corps of the Royal Engineers, who are celebrating 150 years since they won the Cup in 1875. The seasons of Manchester City and Crystal Palace couldn't have been more different. By the extraordinary high standards set by Pep Guardiola, it's been a disappointing campaign, but it could end in triumph. For Crystal Palace, it's a chance to make history, and boy, are they embracing it. failing to defend the Premier League title, crashing out the Champions League before it gets serious, means that the FA Cup is the only route to silverware, and it could be the last bit of silverware that Kevin De Bruyne lifts with Manchester City. The manager has already said it won't make up for what's happened this season, but it will help them avoid bigger damage. For Crystal Palace, this is a chance to finally deliver a trophy to supporters who have never seen them lift one of this country's major prizes. "745 teams entered the 144th running of the FA Cup, but only one can win it." Michael Lacey is the longest-serving staff member at Crystal Palace for Life Foundation, and Lucy Gaskell-Millward is City in the Community's primary schools manager. They have placed the trophy that these two clubs want to win on the plinth. Well, there's no doubt that it is still one of English football's great occasions. Then the games begin. It is a special walk done by very few. The walk from the Wembley Tunnel to the pitch for an FA Cup final.
Please welcome the teams, Crystal Palace and Manchester City.
The atmosphere is electric, the sun is shining. It's the perfect day for a cup final. Well, Crystal Palace have been here before, but they've lost on 2 previous occasions, despite taking the lead in both. Will they make it a third time? Lucky. His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales leads the presentation party that also includes the FA Chair, Debbie Hewitt, Adnan Kazim from Emirates, and Paul Douglas, who is the chair of the FA Challenge Cup Committee. How much does it help Crystal Palace, Ali McCoist, that they have been here recently and won?
Well, Sam, first of all, good afternoon, everyone. I think you're right. I think it's a big thing. Obviously lost the 2 finals they've played in previously. But the fact that they've only lost 1 goal in the tournament, they came here before and had a pretty comprehensive and comfortable victory in the semi-final to follow on from arguably one of the performances of their season, I think, in the quarter-final against Fulham. Yes, it's a big thing. They've won here, they've won before the stadium. It's going to ask a bigger question of them against this Manchester City side, of course, Sam.
Well, Manchester City are Wembley regulars. This is visit 23 in the Pep Guardiola era alone. Not since his first season have City failed to land silverware. Lee Dixon, you've been in teams that win constantly. How much will pride be kicking in, wanting to show everybody what they can do?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Pep's message to his players is, you know, not to dwell on anything in the past. It's about today. It's about staying in the now. They're in a cup final, and it's all about today. And they can look back at the season later on and see what happened and where it went wrong. But today's all about winning.
Well, Crystal Palace gave Manchester City more than a few scares at the Etihad Stadium 5 weeks ago. Will they give them a fright at Wembley? The stage is set.
Please be outstanding if you're able and respectful of the national anthem.
And before we start, the national anthem will be sung this afternoon by singer-songwriter Sienna MBC. Well, 44 clubs have won the FA Cup. Crystal Palace want to become number 45. They embody the motto that they have cultivated, South London and proud. So Manchester City have the advantage in the head-to-head meeting. Wembley experience and squad depth. And they're no mood to satisfy the romantic notion of a Palace win. Well, Oliver Glasner is a thoughtful man, but it's the same lineup that won the semi-final here over Aston Villa. Eberechi Eze has already won one title this year, an online chess tournament against a group of influencers, but he will be a major influence, you suspect, if Palace are going to have any success today, Ali McCoist.
Yeah, definitely. Look at the side. I mentioned the fact they've only lost one goal in the Cup. A lot of that's down to the goalkeeper in the back three. But the two lads in wider positions, Tarek Mitchell and Daniel Munoz, play such an important part with the inverted two tens they have in Eze and Sarr. Mitchell and Munoz have got to get win and got to get forward.
Our referee is Stuart Atwell, who is taking charge of the FA Cup for the first time, the final for the first time. An honour for him and his assistants Adam Nunn and Dan Rowbottom. Darren England, the fourth official. VAR is provided by Jared Gillett, and there is semi-automated offside technology. Well, Erling Haaland wasn't available during Manchester City's 5-2 win over Palace recently, but he's back in today. He's never scored at Wembley, but is a regular scorer against Oliver Glasner's teams. Marmoush is in two. O'Reilly goes to left back again. That's key to getting width in the team, Lee Dixon.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not the first time in big finals we've looked at Pep Guardiola team and thought, well, it's a bit surprising. Certainly Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne and no obvious sitting midfield player. They might just get overrun in that midfield with the strength of Crystal Palace in there, but O'Reilly will help out. Guardiola will push towards the left back at times.
It's a system that is slightly different to how Manchester City lined up when they last played Crystal Palace, and it's not something we've seen too often from them before. And there is Eberechi Eze, who has scored in the third round, the quarter-final, the semi-final, and also scored against City in the Premier League. And those Palace fans will hope that he can come to the party tonight. The City fans will hope that Erling Haaland can break his duck and finally score at Wembley. You just wonder whether or not, with Kevin De Bruyne being involved in the last dance, he just has a habit of making things happen against Crystal Palace, for whom he made his City debut against 10 years ago. Well, if Manchester City are going to nick off with a piece of silverware at the end of this difficult season, they will have to storm the Palace to get their hands on it. We are ready for the 2025 Emirates FA Cup final. Crystal Palace or Manchester City. Pep's team have made fast starts at Wembley in the last couple of years. Lee Dixon, Ali McCoist are here. How important is it to strike first?
Well, vitally important. History would tell you that. I think from current cup finals, I think Crystal Palace will be the one side that don't want to keep it tight. Obviously, the last 5-10 minutes, we saw what City have done recently in cup finals. But yeah, you want to stay in. I was listening to Righty, Lee, and obviously, from Palace's point of view, stay in the game, stay in the game.
Yeah, I think from Palace's point of view, they've got to let Man City know they're there early on, but there's no good starting quickly and then fading away too soon. There'll be a lot of nerves out there, both sets of players, but certainly the Palace players, just to get in the game as an individual player. You just want to get a couple of nice passes together, get your confidence, and then just let all those nerves drift away.
6 of the last 7 teams to score first in the cup final have gone on to win it. Crystal Palace have had some great teams under the great Malcolm Allinson, Terry Venables, Steve Coppell, Alan Smith, Alan Pardew. He was the last man to lead them to Wembley. They've always had a history of flair and swagger. Manchester City Cup finalists for the 6th time in 14 years. Mark Gay guilty of an early foul, which gives Omar Marmoush and Manchester City a free kick.
Already just that little passage you play there, De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva in midfield. They had 3 players, 3 red and blue shirts to pick up when Palace had the ball. That might be a feature during this first half.
Here's Doku. He's been used as an impact substitute in recent weeks, more often than not. Made an impact off the bench last year in the final.
Yeah, I've got to say it was a little bit of a surprise to see his name in the starting 11 for me, guys. However, he commits players, doesn't he? Makes things happen.
Here is Ruben Dias. It's quite surprising setup from Manchester City. We'll get into that after this attack. Here is Savinho. Now Kanji, whose fitness has been a problem for the last few months, but he's recovered at just the right time for Pep Guardiola.
That's a perfect little picture of the back line of City. Almost a 3 at the back with O'Reilly just pushing in on the left-hand side of midfield. That's where he'll help out.
Surprised were you, Ali, to see the fact that there is not an out-and-out sitting midfielder in the Manchester City team?
Well, it's been well documented, obviously, Rodri, but I was a little bit surprised because it really is a very, very attack-minded side. And getting back to Lee's point, O'Reilly pushing in that left-hand side in the middle of the park, that is correct, and he'll continue to do that, but it will leave gaps in City's left-hand side of the defence.
It's Canada. For Eze. One of the main talents of Crystal Palace, Lee, is their counter-attacking ability, and there is a lot of space in behind that defence if they get hold of it.
Yeah, the thing is, the 3 centre-backs, as they've set up, City will have the ball an awful lot. They'll just pass it along, they'll just squeeze Palace back. And the deeper that Palace go, the further they've got to it on the break. So they've just got to make sure they don't drop too deep, that back line. The 5 at the back for Palace don't drop too deep. That means pressure on the ball in midfield.
Here's Guardiola. Now Akanji. This goes Mark Gay. All of football so far has been exclusively played in the Crystal Palace half of the pitch. Doku. This is De Bruyne. Slightly wasteful from him, and now here's a chance for a counter-attack where it would have been. Akanji not halted Eberici Eze.
Good foul, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, well,
it's a good foul.
It's
from a City point of view.
I actually don't think, well, he goes for the ball, there's nothing he can do about it. De Bruyne has left him, given him a short ball there, and he has to go for it, catches. Eze beat it right. He was away in a good attacking area had he not come down.
Tell you what, Ali, as well, this place, this loud.
I know.
It's incredible pre-match, wasn't it?
Tremendous atmosphere before the game prior to kick-off. Well, I've got to say, I know there's a long way to go, but I can tell you who the most vocal of the 2 supports are at this moment in time.
It's not a usual thing for Crystal Palace to make it to an FA Cup final. This is just their 3rd. Wembley visits are more of an annual trip for the Manchester City support. It's a day for talent to shine. Well, is there something magical at Wembley once again? Will Haaland manage to break his duck? Here's De Bruyne towards Haaland. He almost broke his duck. It's a brilliant save from Dean Henderson.
I tell you what, that's the first time De Bruyne has gotten a little bit of space, and he just dropped off to the left, and then he set up a little crossing action, and that movement just from him, that's what he's all about. It's a brilliant ball into the box.
The athleticism as well is absolutely remarkable, and we've seen him do it before. To a normal number 9, normal centre forward, Lee, that's out of reach. That is out of reach, but he just stretches a leg out, and he's very unlucky. Good save.
It is a good save because he's close to him, isn't he?
I've seen clean sheets this season from Dean Henderson. That's an important stop. That's an important header from Lacroix. Savinho trying to tease it back in. Mitchell got in his way. Before the sun sets, someone will be a hero. Tactical battle is fascinating. I wonder if Pep Guardiola had in the back of his mind what happened at the Etihad just a few short weeks to go. Henderson seems to have taken that out of play as he's caught it. It's going to go out for a corner.
I'm not sure he needed to take it at all. Never mind take it out of play.
I think he lost his far post, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Just had a little half a look over his shoulder. Wasn't quite sure where it was, because there's no need for him to catch that.
It's gifted Manchester City another corner. Savinho, working, it's away by Gay. To Savinho again, into Marmouche. Tessa was standing at the front post, and now Eze looking to get away, but Kevin De Bruyne is there. He's quickly released that.
That was a fabulous first touch from Marmouche here. What a first touch it was. They certainly had the vast, if not all of the play so far, City.
Richards is there for Crystal Palace. This is Munoz. Now Kamada. And here comes the Palace counter-attack. And Mateta just didn't quite read the bounce of the ball.
And it's interesting. It's a ball up the line, and it's actually 2 against 2. Eze's over the far side there as well, but Mateta's on Diaz. It's a 2 against 2, so if they can exploit that.
I think we all watched that 5-2 a couple of weeks ago involving these two teams. Crystal Palace could have been over the hills and far away before Manchester City got their first goal, and ended up being 2-2 at half-time. They changed the formation, Palace, at the break, and I think Oliver Glasner thinks that that's a mistake in retrospect, but he did warn Pep Guardiola at the end of that match, if they come up against each other again and he plays that system, Palace will win. Well, he has changed the system.
Yeah.
Still a real threat on the counter-attack, Crystal Palace, who will be quite happy to be without the ball. We've seen them do this many a time over the season.
They gave one of the best performances I've seen all season for a team looking so comfortable without the ball in the quarter-final against Fulham. I've got to say, I thought they were absolutely brilliant, boys.
They hardly touched it in the first half an hour of that game, and then found themselves 2-0 up. This is Haaland. Adam Wharton. It's going to be important for them. And to Sarr, he might have been fouled there. De Bruyne was pretty clear that he got the ball. Stuart Atwell, the referee, concurs. Doku trying to dance his way into the box, blocked by Munoz. This is Nico O'Reilly. Guardiola, O'Reilly, been such a pleasure to watch in the FA Cup, Nico O'Reilly.
It's getting a bit spicy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Savinho trying to go on the outside. Mitchell comes across. It's another corner for Manchester City, who have made a dominant start.
Savinio to deliver. Haaland, Vardiol, Ruben Diaz, Akanji, O'Reilly, all big targets. Sending towards Vardiol, gets the header in. It's another save by Henderson.
That's twice 2 corners, and he's not been picked up in either of them, Vardiol. He had a free run for the opening one, they didn't find him. That time he's got a free header.
It's Gay who just gets his attention caught by Haaland. He wasn't quite sure which one to pick up, so he took Haaland.
Vardiol scored the goal in the semi-final, didn't he? Said this week, I love scoring headers. He's advertising the fact that he is available.
This one always surprises me here, Alan, when you get everybody behind the ball. For me, if Mateta just pushed up 10 yards and just occupied one of the centre-backs, it's one less person on the ball to pass through for a blue shirt. And also, he's up there in case the ball gets, and he can just hold the ball and link it up.
And you know something, he'd probably far rather do that, Lee, but he probably feels a responsibility to go back and help out defensively. But I take your point, plus the fact it gives him an option, it gives Palace an option when they do win it back, they can go a little bit longer.
Going to try and get the ball away from harm's way, but it's going to come straight back, and Marmoush darting forward, Savinio in support. Savinio's cross aimed to back post area. Richards has only helped it on to Doku. Can't get out at the moment. This is Bernardo Silva. Header is by Savinio.
What a chance. As soon as the ball gets played back, you've got to stop the cross. There's too many balls coming into the box. Palace are going to pay for this, whether it's a corner or areas like that. Just a little layback's a brilliant ball in.
Great delivery, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant delivery.
Richard getting the final touch there just ahead of Savinio. And it's another corner for Manchester City, who've racked them up in the early part of the game. Goes again in towards that near post, and it's another header, this time from Akanji.
Well, you feel as it's just a matter of time. You can't keep allowing free headers inside your 6-yard box. He's sort of jumping away from the goal. He does well to get something on it, but again, it's dangerous. Keeper stuck to his line. There's a lot of bodies in that 6-yard box.
Oliver Glasner's tactical plan worked to a T against Unai Emery in the semi-final. Now he's trying to outwit one of European football's most successful coaches. A tweak to the system for Manchester City today. So far it has worked. And it's still 0-0. Stretching, Akanji squeezes it to Savinio. They are, Crystal Palace is a very well-disciplined team, especially without the ball.
We saw in the semi-final, didn't we? City come out and do the exact same thing in the opening 45 minutes. Absolutely dominated possession from the word go.
Trying to go round the corner and get on the end of that Savinio ball, but it's a little bit too heavy from the Brazilian. Just 88% possession for Manchester City in the first 15.
The first ball, it just feels a little bit too safe from Palace.
Do you know what, Lee, see the way they're setting up right now? For the next 5, 10, 15 minutes, I would just push everybody up and go long. Watch this, he's going to go long anyway. Watch this.
It's coming.
There you are.
There you go.
And it's into Mateta, who does well. And Kamada. And then back to Mateta. Now they've got the chance to attack. And Munoz rampages forward. His cross is key. Eza is there! It's another exquisite Emery Chiesa goal. And this one's going to mean more than the rest combined.
I'll tell you what, I know he goes long, but centre forward holds it up and plays a couple of... What a goal it is, beautiful. Off the ball running, Eze comes in right at the back post. It's a dream goal lead.
Well, what you want from your centre forward, and that's what we've been asking for, if he just plays a little bit higher in free play. On that occasion, they play it out the back, and as you quite rightly said, Ali, at some point it's going to go long. And the long ball, watch his feet, it's like super glue, just sticks. Then he lays it off, and he goes again. And this ball here is into space, it's into grass. And the ball, can he get into the box? He can, he gets brilliantly in front of Akanji. That's what you've got to do. Poor play from Akanji at right back, he's got to be there first. And he wasn't, and it's a good finish. It's a brilliant finish. Against the run of play, but they don't care.
Well, it's the first time they've effectively been the opponent's half. But the finish, you mentioned it excellent. He comes in, he's meeting it on the volley. All he wants to do, Lee, is keep it down and get it on target. And that man's absolutely thrilled to bits. Who's he?
Well, it doesn't matter if it's on the chessboard or the football pitch. Eberechi Eze is impossible to contain because he's always 2 moves ahead, and Crystal Palace are ahead with their first attack.
Isn't it amazing, though, the first time that City have effectively been asked to defend and you're just sleeping, you just nod off a little bit in that back post kind of area when it comes across.
Any of the ball in the first 15 minutes, but you always knew that they were a threat on a counter-attack, and Manchester City know that from experience, and they've experienced it again. Behind at the Etihad, they took a 2-goal lead on that day, Crystal Palace a few weeks ago.
Well, you
can in front again.
You can't counter-attack from your own penalty box with a load of blue shirts in front of you. That's not going to happen. And what they did was they bypassed everybody. All that midfield, all the defenders in front of him, and they got it to his feet, and he played a blinder.
O'Reilly, quick feed into Omar Marmoush, blocked by Richards.
I mentioned it, I mean, do not underestimate the part the centre forward played in that. Mateta, massive part in that goal.
And the fullback. It's not all about forwards, you know.
The right back in particular had a major role in that goal.
I had him down for 5 seconds earlier, coming back at me there.
Walton just about preventing Marmoush. Sarr, Munoz, Walton. Crystal Palace emboldened by that goal. Here's Tyreek Mitchell. Now Eze. Bend that with the outside of his boot, might get a second bite of it here. He's found Munoz again. City backpedaling. Munoz, little flick. It's a fantastic save from Stefan Ortega, and it had to be because Ismaila Sarr almost scored a FA Cup classic.
I don't know how he gets out his feet. It's a remarkable run across.
De Bruyne. Mitchell accused of bringing down Savinho, but Stuart Atwell will not be giving a free kick. But what a chance this was.
Brilliant.
Crossfield pass again, there's your right back, Lee. Oh, he gets out his feet brilliantly. He's unlucky. Anywhere else it's a goal. He's actually ahead of it, and he kind of lets it run through him ever so slightly, Lee, and just redirects it.
You know, there was a little passage of play that when that breakaway happened, I saw Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne both pointing to the centre-backs. Okay, we've got this, and started coming back into the back four. That's where this system, what they've got in midfield, just breaks down a little bit when they hit on the break. Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne, both of them are not used to running back towards their own goal.
Crystal Palace took the lead in the 1990 Cup final, took the lead in the 2016 Cup final. However, taking the lead in the 2025 Cup final requires them to show a bit more steel. They went to extra time against Manchester United on both previous occasions, but it's the other other side of Manchester they've got to try and contain now.
Good as Munoz been this season. Oh, I mean, we've only seen two long-busting runs.
Terrific.
Absolutely brilliant.
Well, we mentioned before the game and the team setting up, Lee, that the width would have to come from him and Mitch on the other side. And they haven't let us down, for sure, particularly on this side.
6 goals, 5 assists already this season for Daniel Munoz.
Just allows, he's allowed to get forward because on the other side, as you said, Mitchell just tucks in a little bit and they almost go back to a 4. And he just gets forward at every opportunity. He's got some engine on him.
Signed a new contract with Palace 3 weeks ago, one of the standout performers of the season, no doubt. Scored the winner in the grudge match with Brighton as well, so that always goes down well. The opening 22 minutes have gone down well with those Crystal Palace supporters. Wharton, he's recovered from the groin injury which saw him miss the game against Tottenham last week. Here's Munoz again, trying to bend it round towards Mateta. Didn't reach him on this occasion, but Eze's picked it up again.
I think Lee was frantically trying to get a hold of me there to ask me where the City midfielders were there. I couldn't tell you, mate. If that was going to be the question you were going to ask me, and I've got a feeling it was.
Well, this is a problem, isn't it, for Manchester City?
It certainly is.
Vardiol looking to send it long. Haaland charging through the centre. Henderson just waiting, and waiting too long. Had it pinched by Haaland. Marmoush dispossessed by Mitchell, and then Kamala brings it clear.
Brilliant tackle, Mitchell. Brilliant tackle.
We've got a game on our hands, that's for sure. Vardiol just about keeping Sarr at bay.
Henderson just putting his arm up in apology. He just waited for the ball to come into the box. Haaland was screaming for that.
Is it in the box?
Well, that's the big question now that VAR will look at. Yeah. Did he handle that outside the penalty area?
Did he get a touch on it, or did Haaland touch it? No. He's in trouble here.
Well, he definitely touched it with his hand. Was he outside the penalty area? If he was, that's a red card offence. Nervous moments for Dean Henderson, who's forced his way past Sam Johnson. He is the #1 goalkeeper now for Crystal Palace. 13 clean sheets this campaign.
Well, there was one little still frame, I think, that we saw right along the line. It looked like his hand touched it outside the box.
Yeah, it's difficult to tell, isn't it? Oh,
tell you what. We've seen that 3 or 4 times, and it's touch and go, literally.
You can't tell. It's actually.
Well, the VAR has had a good look at it and has decided that the direction of play was going to the wide area. Therefore, it is not the denial of a goal-scoring opportunity.
Well, you can't deny that. You can't deny that where he was running. So if that's the interpretation.
Hold on a minute now. Where he touches that ball is a goal-scoring opportunity. Where he puts it makes it a non-goal scoring opportunity. But where the offence is committed, it's a goal-scoring opportunity, surely.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that he handles the ball outside the penalty area, but the VAR says that the ball was travelling away from goal. The direction of play is away from the goal, so therefore it's not the denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. I can only relay the information from Jared Gillett.
Get him on the phone.
No, I know what he's saying.
Yeah, so do I. But it was him. We've got a game to watch.
Oh yeah, we got the games going on.
Now Mateta bounding forward. Pep Guardiola's not going to be happy with that decision, and he'll certainly bring it up if Manchester City don't mount the comeback here. Chris Richards stops Doku. Doku wants a free kick. It's not going Manchester City's way at the moment.
Not at the moment. I don't think there's an awful lot in it. And the referee, Stuart Atwell, certainly had a good view of it.
Oh, absolutely spot on. No foul that. He's expecting contact, it didn't come.
Yeah.
So he just hit the ground.
I get the feeling that that might be a discussion point.
Let me know when you want to discuss it again, Ali.
I can just let the viewers know it will certainly take up our 15 minutes at half-time.
I imagine social media is raging with the debate as to what the decision was all about, but because the ball was going away from goal, they decided that it was not the denial of a goal-scoring opportunity, therefore not a red card effect, so they could do nothing about it.
If you substitute the hand to somebody's foot,
yes,
and he makes a tackle and he misses the ball and kicks the player,
yes,
but the ball's going out another way, and he would have to run. But that's after the ball.
There wasn't enough pace on the ball, taking it in the opposite direction for it not to be a goal-scoring opportunity, in my opinion. I take the
ball is loose inside the penalty area. Let's concentrate on that for a second. Walton with a volley. I'm sure Roy Keane's got a few things to say about it. And Ian Wright, and Julian Lescott, and Karen Carney.
I don't want to wish the game away, but I almost can't wait for half-time to listen to him.
I think it will be interesting listening to him as well. Vardiol. This is O'Reilly. Doku. Kanji now, De Bruyne.
When you look at Palace right now defensively, Lee, Sam, there's maybe 20, take the goalie aside, there's maybe maximum 20 yards between the back defender and the front player. Really tight unit, a really tight unit.
It's so condensed and so congested when Manchester City have got the ball in the Palace half, but he's made the difference.
Just the finish is good, but the movement to get in front of Akanji is even better. Because if you don't make that movement, Akanji just clears it. There's no danger at all.
It's been involved in 5 goals in 5 FA Cup games. It's 9 goals in 12. Don't look back in anger, Noel.
Did you say that?
I did it just for you.
I know.
There's still 60 minutes for Manchester City to repair the damage. It's all about looking forward for them. There's O'Reilly. Diaz on to De Bruyne. Akanji. Steering it clear. It's a stumble by Gvardiol, and Saar was ready to pounce. Doku has managed to be released down that left-hand side, but Munoz has held firm. O'Reilly trying to bundle his way through. Richards just about got away with it.
Tell you what,
it was all a bit scrappy, wasn't it?
He's a bit lucky there, but he'll take it. Tell you, not only can this lad Munoz get forward, he can defend as well, because Doku has not gone past him yet fully. He's got to take him down the outside. once or twice, just to square him up a little bit. At the moment, he's going, yeah, you're going to go inside. Every time he's gone onto his right foot, if he just goes down the left, he might not get there, but it just puts a bit of doubt in Munoz's mind the next time he comes at him.
Manchester City have really hit form towards the end of the season. They're 10 games unbeaten coming into this cup final. I think because of that, we were slightly surprised about the shift in the approach from Pep Guardiola today. Their best run since October, and they did find themselves behind against Palace recently, and they fought back and won the game in the end very comfortably.
Certainly always goals in the games involving the two, that's for sure.
These two meetings have produced 11. The goal scoring is over. Diaz looking for Haaland. Gets up well. Magic's held firm. De Bruyne. Challenged by Mateta. Mateta again, but Stuart Atwell's blown the whistle.
It's what you said about how they set up Palace with that 20 yards.
Bernardo Silva powering through, still going. Bernardo Silva. Tyreek Mitchell with a challenge. Stuart Atwell with a job to do, and he points to the spot and gives a penalty for Manchester City.
Tell you what, he didn't waste.
Yeah, he knows it as well. I think he knows it. You can tell by his reaction, can't you? It's a pen all day. Bernardo Silva does brilliant, because I'm going to tell you something. I think there's a fair idea he knows he's not going to get a cross in, but he knows if he gets the touch, there's going to be contact.
That's the important thing, the touch, and then he's waiting for it. He's waiting for the follow-through of the player. As soon as you go to ground, you can't control where you're going to slide, and you slide into the player, he's going to give a penalty.
Tyreek Mitchell has given away a penalty. Dean Henderson's had a let-off. Now he's going to try and make a penalty save. Maybe from that fella. He's got the ball in his hands. He missed against Bournemouth in the quarter-final.
They're just checking to see, aren't they, if Mitchell gets a slighter of touches after Silva takes it. He might, difficult to see.
He does get a little toe on the ball.
If he gets a toe on the ball, I think he does. He does,
It's after the touch of Bernardo Silva. He's given a penalty.
But he takes, you know what he does, Lee? He touches the ball before he hits the player.
So what VAR is saying he didn't get a touch on the ball, but quite blatantly, from what we've just seen, he did get a touch of the ball before he made contact with Silva.
The VAR has said to Stuart Atwell, they've confirmed the on-field decision, the defender does not play the ball. So.
He does, I'm telling you.
Yeah, absolutely.
He gets a touch on the ball.
Omar Marmoush now has the ball in his hands. Haaland's missed against Bournemouth. This season, 4 scored, 3 missed for Manchester City. So Marmoush will take over penalty duties in the FA Cup final. The penalty taker at Eintracht Frankfurt. A man who has made a real impact since coming in the January transfer window. It's a big moment, the biggest moment that he's had in a Manchester City shirt. 7 goals already to his name. Taking on Dean Henderson, who's saved 9 of the 25 penalties that he has faced. A big moment in the FA Cup final. Marmoush for Manchester City to draw them back level. And Omar Marmoush is stopped by Dean Henderson. It's another major let-off for Crystal Palace. It's another failure from the spot from Manchester City.
That's a great save. They'll have a look at whether he comes off his line. He's certainly left foot's on the line. But it's a good height for him. It's a poor penalty.
going to go to either side from the keeper as opposed to down the middle, the height is about 2 foot for the keeper to have a perfect hand to it, and that's exactly where it goes.
Well, the big question, of course, is should he still be on the pitch, Dean Henderson, after what happened earlier in the game?
Certainly plenty of talking points for the gang at half-time.
Half-time has been extended to half an hour now.
Well, what a moment in the cup final. Dean Henderson springing to make a save. And there's so many talking points in just the first few moments of the game. Here is Munoz steaming forward down the right now. Challenged by Doku, but Munoz is giving them real problems. Well, Dean Henderson made a terrific save from Anthony Elanga in a recent game with Nottingham Forest, but saves don't come much bigger than a penalty stop in an FA Cup final.
He made a good one in the first couple of minutes, didn't he, from Haaland? Yeah, he did. He's carried it on. But I just want to ask you a question about that VAR. If VAR, the reason why he said it's a penalty, the only reason is because the defender didn't get a touch on the ball, that's factually wrong. Incorrect. Because we've seen it. We've seen the replay where he gets a touch on it.
I totally agree with you. He definitely makes contact, in our opinion, with the ball before he touches the player, or indeed Silva goes down.
It's not even our opinion, it's a factual thing. You can see it move.
Yeah.
Agreed. I think they've got that wrong. Well, their explanation is wrong.
A lot to unpick when we get to half-time, but we've got the best team to do it, so we'll get the best opinion in the business. Here is Doku down the left. Again, Crystal Palace having. Wharton, brilliant. Richards away. Mateta putting pressure on Vardiol, gets there. Catching, trying to pierce the Palace defensive line. Savinho, now Bernardo Silva. What the other is thinking, having watched this opening 39 minutes.
Thinking is, who's had the most touches in my team, and the answer to that is the 3 centre-backs. That says everything about Palace's position. I was just going to say before, 3 centre-backs have had the ball so much.
No, I don't think he'll be pressing any panic buttons, Sam, but he'll be concerned.
Was there a touch? This is the big question that you guys were debating.
There, yes. I think there is. You're pretty non-committal on this one, Sam, I have to inform you.
I'm just surprised that the VAR was so clear that there was no touch. I wonder if they've got a snickometer there that's telling them that.
No, I don't care what your snickometer says, because that's not the angle that shows it best. There is another angle where you see the ball move after it hits the end of his toe. So the snickometer's not working. Somebody turn it up.
I mean, it looks to me like he's touched the ball. It's looked to you two that he's touched the ball, but the VAR was pretty strident. In our ear, we heard it. The defender didn't play the ball. That's what he said. Here is Ruben Diaz. To Doku. Savinho looking for Haaland. Richards is not there. Made by Wharton, collected by Sarr. Just gives Diaz something to think about. That's Mateta again, reborn under Oliver Glasner. Sarr almost got the ball out towards Munoz on this near side, and had he had done, and Manchester City were overcommitted again.
He makes some brilliant runs, Munoz, makes some brilliant runs. But there you are, the one thing as a centre-back you cannot do is let the ball bounce, particularly when there's somebody of the size of Mateta knocking about. You've got to meet it in the full, don't let it bounce.
It's been a difficult season for Pep Guardiola. It's been a brilliant second half of the season for Oliver Glasner. It's been a very profitable first 45 minutes for Crystal Palace. There's a lot of discussion points. Manchester City and Pep Guardiola to overcome, to refocus, maybe get in at half-time. Re-energise and find another way. Had a lot of the ball in the opening 42 minutes of this game. They might feel that they should have an extra man. They've missed the penalty. They've had a couple of good chances. They are behind. Penalty miss from Marmoush. It's only the 6th penalty to ever be missed in a cup final. Here is Doku. It's another big save by Henderson. Comes back to De Bruyne over the bar. Well, Dean Henderson was always going to have a really good game if they were going to keep City out, and he is.
Well, I said Doku should go down the outside, but that's him at his best going on the inside, and this strike is bound for the top corner. It's a brilliant save, but the header from Gueye is equally as good. The ball is just there to be headed in. Watch this. 2 towering above him. No, he gets there first. It's a brilliant bit of defending.
Do you know what he does? Critical part of that is he jumps early. He gets up early. You're right. Brilliant save. Equal defensively was the header from Gueye there, and he jumps early, because if somebody gets a jump on him and he's over them, he loses it, but he's up early. Great header.
Well, he's strong and often well positioned. He was excellent in the game against Tottenham recently, with whom he's been linked because of a raft of stellar performances. He's excellent in one-on-one situations. He's the commander of that defence. And that's superb from Walt. Mateta, I think he's offside here. He's just waiting for the flag to go up. A bit of afters. Mateta down, Bernardo Silva being spoken to by Stuart Atwell. And Kanji just took the ball off Mateta. And then Mateta fell to the ground. I don't know if there was a trip there, but it was certainly accidental if there was.
It's his shoulder, I think, he's struggling with as he falls.
Still wearing the protective ear guard over the left ear that needed those 25 stitches in that game with Millwall.
His shoulder seems to be okay, Ali.
It does. It does. The fact that he's 6'3" wide would indicate he's got stronger shoulders than most, please.
It's a handful. Here's a Kanji. Gay away. Is it? Mateta runs into Diaz. Stuart Atwell could have given a couple of free kicks there.
Yeah, there's certainly one on Eze when he flicks it around the corner. There, De Bruyne blocks him, doesn't he? That's a pretty straightforward obstruction, isn't it?
Is that not yellow? Did you get a yellow for that? No.
Nothing so far. 3 minutes have been added at the end of what has been a lively first 45 minutes.
It certainly has.
Crystal Palace fan that you can hear in fine voice. very little to do apart from pick the ball out of his net. Diaz. Difficult for Haaland between two centre-backs. It's a goal kick.
I think you'll be pretty receptive to the fact that Munoz, I think defensively as well, he tucks in and gives Richard a good bit of cover there, Lee, as well. He's been very, very good first half.
Yeah, he's good all round, isn't it? And that's testament to his engine, the fact that he can get up and down from one penalty box to the other, but the presence of mind to have the concentration to be able to cover his defenders around him as well.
Well, Crystal Palace know that if they keep Manchester City out, then they will win the FA Cup, and they've conceded just one goal in the competition so far this campaign. They know how to keep clean sheets. They went on a terrific run away from home of 7 clean sheets in a row earlier in the spring. But this is Manchester City we're talking about.
I don't know why Mitchell lets that bounce again.
Trying a little trick near the halfway line, because we know if it works you can just bring him down, give him a little reminder that you're there. I'd love to get you on the halfway line, Ali.
Ball in by Akanji. Was up there trying to head that away by Munoz. Well, the last team to win the FA Cup for the first time in their history were Leicester City 4 years ago. Eberechi Eze has given us the telling moment of the first half. That's given Palace lead at the break, but there's a lot more to discuss, including the miss from the spot by Omar Marmoush and the decisions surrounding it. We'll extract the thoughts of Roy Keane, Ian Wright and Jolyon Lescott next, but at half-time, it's Crystal Palace 1, Manchester City 0. No doubt that it is still one of English football's great occasions. And it's into Mateta, who does well, and Kamada, and then back to Mateta. Now they've got the chance to attack, and Munoz rampages forward. His cross is key. Eze is there! It's another exquisite Eberechi Eze goal, and this one's going to be more than the rest combined.
What a first half that was, of a lot of Manchester City possession, an outstanding goal, a very controversial moment, and a saved penalty. Right, to squeeze it all in, let's start with the Palace goal, when it had been all City for quarter of an hour. You were talking about Mateta and his all-round game. I know Eze gets the goal, but how good is this from Mateta?
Well, this is fantastic play, because you're thinking, oh, Palace are in trouble here, but then that in itself is a good one, because it's looped up, but his touch there, Hoogs. It's the touch and then the awareness again there. Put it in his path, give himself a chance to get in the box. But this is a great ball to Eze, because it actually comes off his shin, but it's coming in at such pace, he can guide it on goal. But it's brilliant from the centre forward. Fantastic.
Crystal Palace in a nutshell there. Good striker getting hold of it. Brian Clough, he's upstairs, just striker, get hold of it. Get hold of it. He got hold of it, laid it off, got some runners.
Just feeds it into an area,
simple,
does he?
Yeah, honestly, simple, effective, and your star man turning up on the big occasion. Brilliant goal.
Such a contrast to the way the City have been playing, so possession-based, very direct on the counter there, Palace.
Yeah, definitely, and it's how the game was going to go. We knew that Palace were going to sit deep and City were going to have high possession, but in regards to that goal, the setup, what's important about that is the 4 passes they have before they go long. It means City push up and try to do a high press, and all of a sudden, there's more space for Mateta.
Right, how controversial is this moment then? Dean Henderson.
Wow.
I don't think there's any... Well, there is no question he handles the ball outside the area. His feet are inside, yes, but he handles it outside.
I was petrified for him, Poos. I thought he was going here, because how they could say this is not denying a goal-scoring opportunity is absolutely pathetic. Yeah. It's crazy. He's gonna tap that past him, and then he's going to just tap that into the goal.
It's Henderson who bats the ball away there. away from goal. I don't think any of us understand this, do we?
No one
understands. Are we missing something here?
Everyone's confused. Pep's confused as well. But what you need to win the cup, you need a bit of luck. Yeah. You need a couple of decisions to go for you, and that was a huge one.
Because Haaland, he's going to nudge it just beyond Henderson, and then a right-footed shot in on goal.
Yeah, if Henderson doesn't touch it, Haaland gets there, and then he just slots it into an empty goal with his right
from
foot.
An angle, but not an acute angle by any means.
That was one of the worst decisions I've seen in football.
In football, you've gone full on.
In football. Because of the explanation, not because of the decision. It's the explanation.
I agree with you.
To deem that he's not in a goal-scoring opportunity, one of the most prolific goal scorers we've seen.
Well, they're saying it's not in a goal-scoring opportunity because of the angle, but the angle is created
by Henderson. That's what I mean.
That's all rubbish, Poogs. What are you talking about? That's Erling Haaland going through, and a goalkeeper's not meant to be batting the ball away. So he's just going to knock it past me. Why are they making up these rules and saying it so eloquently so as what, to confuse us? Yeah. That's supposed to be a penalty. That's supposed to be a sending off.
Yeah. Which would change, of course, the whole concept of the game, because then Manchester City do get a penalty. VAR said there was no touch from Mitchell. You heard the boys in commentary saying that. There might have been the absolute minutest feather. Well, you're not going to overturn that if it's given on field.
And it's a daft tackle.
Yeah.
Really daft tackle.
Yeah, I thought you'd save this. Joel, am I lying?
I did. I said keep it to the right.
I didn't have faith.
I just fancied him.
He scored all 4 for Frankfurt before Christmas, before he moved. Do you think Haaland quite got the angle there? Haaland should shoot rather than trying to feed it back in towards goal, possibly on the rebound?
I think so. It just seems like you're close enough. You've got to get that on target, just shoot. Why would you square that?
They had 80% of the ball. Is the second half going to be attack v defence?
I would have thought so, but we've seen with the Palace what they're capable of doing with the goal. When they get forward, they can be clinical, and you feel Palace still have another goal in them, but it's set up for a brilliant second half.
Yeah, absolutely it is. Crystal Palace lead by goal to nil at half-time. Dean Henderson has been at the centre of all of it. He's played very well, made a couple of terrific saves. Very fortunate, in our opinion, to stay on the pitch, then deny City from the spot. Ezra's goal gives Palace a half-time lead here at Wembley. We've got highlights of all the EFL playoff matches next weekend on ITV4, starting on Saturday with Sheffield United against Sunderland for a place in the Premier League. Serena Bigman's Lionesses are in Nations League action against Portugal and Spain in a few weeks' time as they get ready for the Euros, and Thomas Tuchel's side take on Andorra in a World Cup qualifier. That's at the start of June before facing Senegal in a friendly at the City Ground. Don't forget, you won't miss a moment of England's men's and women's teams here on ITV. Let's go down to the pitch, to the dugouts, and speak to Karen Carney. Karen, what have you seen from down there in the first half?
Yeah, it was really interesting from a Crystal Palace perspective. I think Jolien mentioned leading up to the goal. They changed that. They were having a few more passes in leading to the goal because Glasson was really animated. He was frustrated that they couldn't get out, and that meant that Manchester City were really on top of them and obviously fixed it, and then it led to the goal. And then I think for the obviously the decision, particularly with the handball, it looked like the Manchester City doctor was the one that noticed it and came down and tried to get involved and tried to say, hey, it's a handball decision. But obviously VAR had different opinions, and I'll leave it to the gentleman to discuss further.
Yeah. Karen, thank you very much. Kevin De Bruyne was carrying on the discussions with the officials in the half-time break as Steve Parish and Gareth Southgate catch up. Palace have only had about 20% of the ball. Yeah. Don't they have to try and change things? If City carry on like this, surely City are going to get a break somewhere.
I don't know, Poogs, especially when they punish them so quickly with their first chance. I think that they'll feel confident enough to let's soak their pressure up and we'll go again. Because you feel like they'll score another goal. They look like they can score another.
Well, because they have looked that good on the break.
And they look like they're enjoying the defence. There's a bit of pride in them. They're kind of enjoying there was a mistake for the penalty, but they're enjoying the 1v1s. So I don't think they'd be that worried about the possession. It was the same in the semi-final. They'll still have that belief. We'll sit in and we can get another goal.
Looking at the bench from City's point of view, Grealish, but particularly Foden, if they're chasing the game.
Yeah, you would say Phil Foden would be the one that stand out with Jack as well. But yeah, normally these are the game changers that he's starting today.
They don't look tense, do they, the Palace players?
They look so relaxed and composed. Obviously, huge 45 minutes for the club, but them players look like they're in the zone and they're up for the challenge.
I think it'll come to... If it goes down to the last 15, 20 minutes of this, then you'd start to see the fatigue in the defending. But I do believe Palace have got another goal in them.
Well, they've been 7 minutes away from winning the Cup, 9 minutes away from winning the Cup. They're now 45 minutes away from winning the Cup. Lee Dixon, Annie McCoy and Sam Matterface with the second half.
Cheers, Mark. 7 times winners Manchester City are in their 14th FA Cup final. They are unbeaten against Crystal Palace in 7 games, but they have to come from behind in order to win an 8th FA Cup. What's the recipe, Lee Dixon?
Well, I think Ian talked about it before the game about moving. They're going to have a lot of ball in the first half, which he did. He's moving it a little bit quicker from left to right, and certainly from Doku's point of view, he can tie up probably Palace's best player in Munoz a little bit more, take it down the outside. Started to have a few crosses in the box first 10-15 minutes, but then that ceased to be after the goal. I think Palace have played the game plan very well.
From Palace's perspective, they didn't even have 20% of the ball. 81% of possession was for Manchester City. Ali, is that something that you'd be concerned about? Savino looking to tease one to the far post. Comes back to Doku, hits Haaland and is then cleared by Sarr. Richards was also involved in helping to block that.
I'd be slightly concerned, Sam, however, if you continue to defend the way you're defending, your goalkeeper continues to make saves the way he's making, and you can go in the counter-attack, I wouldn't be overly concerned.
Mitchell trying to feed it into Mateta, didn't have enough strength on the pass.
He's got to lose that in behind. You know, it's actually, I think that's a poor pass. It's easy cut out. You're as well losing it in behind.
Talk about defend like you have been. Chris Richards has just made the header of the game. Far post, that little ball. Savino has hardly been in the game on this right-hand side. He's just dinked one to the far post. And Richards was under all sorts of pressure. Brilliant bit of defending.
It's a big test today for Chris Richards, who stepped in when Chalobah went back to Chelsea. Here is Savino skipping past Mitchell. Richards is there again. It's a couple of times that Mitchell's got beyond. Savino's got beyond Mitchell on this near touch line.
Too easy as well. Too easy.
Bernardo Silva, O'Reilly looking for Haaland. Across comes Lacroix.
That time Savino got to the byline there, Leah. That was great position as well, centre of the goal.
Watch this for a header. Haaland just thinks he's going to have a tap in. Brilliant.
Chris Richards from the same town as Courtney Cox and Tammy Wynette, Birmingham, Alabama. Big defender for the US men's team, a big part of the terrific Palace rearguard too.
The beauty of having those 3 centre-backs out the back is they can play a lot narrower than you would do with the 2. I know that sounds obvious, but the gaps in between that Haaland likes to get into are a little bit closer together.
Marmouche has gone down, but I think there was a foul previous to that, which is going to relate to a Mateta movement, and a free kick has been given to Manchester City.
I'm just thinking out loud there, Tammy Wynette can't have had too many mentions in previous cup finals, surely.
Ball in towards the front post, down to Doku. Doku with a bender.
He's out to him really, really quickly as well. Gets out to him really quickly to close him down. He goes for the bench shot. Watch how quickly he gets out.
Yeah, he does. I tell you what, he wants to have a word with his mate on the other side, Mitchell, because Savino's had 3 chances to put the ball in the box in the first 5 minutes of this second half. First 3 minutes, got to get a little bit tighter. Gay, just have a little word with your left back.
Doku again, just looking lively from that left-hand side, but he hasn't scored a goal since the 19th of January. Pep Guardiola, who's never afraid to tell the 4th official what he thinks, is just giving Darren England a few words of advice.
I'm not sure Barham was giving his full focus, to be quite honest.
Pep's getting really irate, I think is probably the word, He's trying to actually get the Manchester City fans to raise the noise levels. Long throw incoming. Chris Richards launching that towards the near post. Comes down to Etta again. And Walton's effort wasn't too bad either. Seems to have collided with someone inside the box. I think it may well be Gay who end up getting it in the face.
Oh, he struck it well, didn't he?
Oh, that's who you want it to fall to. No doubt.
Kanji, I think it was, who got it in his way, but just look, takes his time. He doesn't rush it. Easy to rush that and smash it straight over the bar, but he just keeps it down.
Oh, it's
Kanji's heel.
It's a great block and it's a lovely strike. You want that to drop to any Palace player, that's the one you want to drop it to. Eze, great technique. Saw him score an absolutely wonderful goal in the quarter-final at Fulham. Cut inside, bent it. What a goal it was.
Manchester City fans trying to raise the noise level to get their team back on terms because of this. And that's the reaction. And it's the fourth time that City have conceded first in the FA Cup this season. They won the last three against Leyton Orient, Plymouth and Bournemouth. But Dean Henderson has been standing up to Manchester City almost single-handedly at times. But the big question is, should he be on the pitch? And that is going to be something that's going to be discussed and discussed.
Well, it has to be said, I might as well say it. VAR's two things to do today, and he's got both of them wrong, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd agree. You can discuss the merits of whether it's a penalty or not, but you and I are firmly of the opinion, because our own eyes tell us there was a touch. Mitchell gets a touch.
We saw it for a third time, didn't we, in the break, and we're still convinced that that's what happened. Stuart Atwell wasn't. He gave the penalty initially. They didn't see enough clear evidence to overturn it. Jared Gillett, as we said to Stuart Atwell, the defender doesn't play the ball. The ball has hit Mark Gahey and it's taken him right in the face. As to Palace legends, Roy Hodgson, a former manager, Gareth Southgate, former player. Gareth Southgate, who played over 200 appearances for Crystal Palace. And Mike Summerby, who won trophies with Manchester City before it was fashionable. Cup winner in 1969, scored his one and only England goal at Wembley against Switzerland 54 years ago. But unless he can come up with a turnaround, Crystal Palace will be making history. History that Steve Coppell came very close to, with Alan Smith by his side, as usual. Mark Gay seems to have recovered. Just wonder whether or not he is a contact lens wearer, because he is trying to regain his vision. It's a 3-minute delay, so there will be some extensive added time at the end of the 90. Scouting quite a number of English players, in fact the most English players I think since 2018 in vision for an FA Cup final. 2 games upcoming against Andorra and Senegal, which may see some new personnel in. Kanji. Bernardo Silva. That De Bruyne didn't quite want.
Just looking then, just how good Munoz is. We've already talked about that. But Sarr, every time Doku gets the ball, Sarr's first over there to give him a little bit of help on the inside.
Ruben Darris is ball for O'Reilly. By Wall. Savinio. De Bruyne. Made by Lacroix. Clearly back on the pitch now. Tessa away. They're still very deep, Crystal Palace. Guardiola in towards Marmoush. Scored significantly more goals in the second halves of games than first, Crystal Palace, but they can't get out of their own half at the moment. We've seen this pattern before. Doku trying to play a reverse into Silva. Bernardo Silva blocked, still going, and Kamada smuggles the ball behind.
What a little reverse ball that was. He just creeps in behind. It's a great block by Kamada eventually. Does it really well, but Silva takes up a great position.
Fourth major final of Daichi Kamada's career. He won the Europa League under Oliver Glasner at Eintracht Frankfurt. It's another City corner. It's a deep one. Haaland trying to keep it alive. Henderson punches it back towards Haaland again. Comes back to Haaland for a third time. Gotta keep that under control. Experience winning major trophies. 6 weeks ago, I don't think he would have been a popular choice to partner Wharton in midfield, but his performance in the semi-final certainly looked like a stroke of genius, and he's won people over. The first Japanese player to play in the FA Cup final.
Brilliant bit of defending in the ITV because he ran off Wharton.
Crossed by Sarr, a little bit of a problem for Akanji. Ruben Dias rescues his mate.
Nearly turned into a massive problem for Akanji. Don't know whether he loses a flight over it, he takes his eye off and looks at Diaz, but he was pretty thankful there was nobody behind him.
Got a little knockdown the last long throw that came in, didn't they? We'll be aware of that, City, edge of the box, Kamada.
Chris Richard. It's left for Munoz, it takes a little deflection, they've lost it, it's in, and Munoz has poked it home. The Eagles take flight at Wembley, and it's going to be difficult to bring them down from this.
It's just a bit gambling, it's a long throw, they don't clear the lines, and somebody's on the move. That's all it is, somebody is on the move.
Goal scorer for Crystal Palace, number 12, Daniel Munoz!
Goal number 7 of the season for Daniel Munoz.
I want you to watch him after he hits it here. He hits it, right? He goes through a crowd of players. Now watch him. There he goes. He's the only one that doesn't switch off. Brilliant. And he deserves his break and he deserves his goal.
Are they going to disallow it for offside against Sarr being in an offside position?
Yeah, I mean, he's standing offside, it does hit him, he just watches the ball comes through. He's in an offside position, it gets a little, does he get a little flick off Haaland on the way?
You're right. I'll tell you what's worth a mention too, the goalkeeper makes an absolutely tremendous save after it comes off him.
Well, he's certainly standing, Sarr, in an offside position.
Yeah.
VAR's having a look at it now.
I think it's deflected onto him, Lee. I think it's deflected onto him and he is in that offside position. But I'll mention it again, when it comes off him, I think the goalkeeper makes a great save.
Yeah, they are going to disallow the goal, yeah. Well, they're going to chalk off that goal. Disappointment for Crystal Palace and their supporters. They're going to give an indirect free kick here. And this is why.
Yeah, just watch Sarr's position. As the shot comes in, Munoz gets the first strike on it. And then it just hits him on the thigh. Fair play to her. How quick was he to get onto it, but it won't count.
Yeah. Definitely offside. Still happy with his movement right enough, but definitely offside. He's actually a little bit unlucky, Sar, because it's deflected onto him to get deflected.
After review, the goal scorer, Crystal Palace, number 7, is in an offside position.
A little bit of a confrontation off the ball as Stuart Atwell was announcing the decision. Mark Gay is going to have to come off. Maybe, possibly because of concussion. And there's Paddy McCarthy getting face-to-face with a member of the Manchester City staff there, and that's all spilt over on the touchline. It's just a little bit of tempers boiling over here at Wembley.
I think it's a little bit more than a little, you know. Has Lerma gone into that left-hand side of the 3? Yeah. Looks like he has.
Jefferson Lerma has done that before.
Straight swap then. I think you made a very good point, you know, because a couple of minutes earlier, Mark Gahey was not comfortable when the ball came into the box and he was scratching his eye. It may be something to do with his sight. I don't know whether that ball's knocked his sight or it's a contact lens, as you might mention. It'll be interesting to see in here.
Yeah, well, he certainly wasn't comfortable. He's been replaced by Jefferson Lerma. He's got some defending to do here because Marmoush is escaping. Now it's on to De Bruyne. Towards that near post. By Lerma and then away by the same man. Here's Doku skating forward in towards O'Reilly. Richards again flicks it away. Munoz, who thought he'd scored the second goal.
Just give Man City a little boost on it. You think you've gone 2-0 down. It's drifting away from you, all of a sudden you get a lifeline.
Yep.
Well, there was a bit of an issue on the sidelines and Paddy McCarthy was involved in that, but there are reports of a little bit of a head-to-head between him and Pep Guardiola during half-time in the tunnel as well. So it's definitely getting a little bit spicy down there.
Don't mind that.
Where's the tunnel camera? That's what I want to know.
Been so much that has occurred in the match that has required discussion. The time has ticked away quite fast in this second half. We're nearly up to the 65-minute mark. Still Crystal Palace have the advantage. De Bruyne into Marmoush, now out to Savinho. Holding off Mitchell. Now Diaz. De Bruyne. Savinho. Akanji going around the outside, but his ball into the box was easily collected by Dean Henderson. He's now got the captain's armband on too in the absence of Gay. 4,000 inside Wembley for the FA Cup final. Manchester City, who didn't sell all their tickets for the semi-final, and it wasn't a great look for the FA Cup semi-final, and there was lots of reasons behind that, and they've certainly snapped on every available ticket for the FA Cup final. So have the Crystal Palace supporters. It's they who are enjoying the experience more at the moment. It's excellent from Munoz. Really is superb from Daniel Munoz. Just shows you how important right-backs are, Lee.
Tell you, very underestimated position. I mean, he hasn't put a foot wrong, has he, today? He's been absolutely sparkling.
No, I must admit, I thought to all intents and purposes he was just going to put one over the left back's head. I did, for Matete to run onto it, and he came back inside. It was lovely.
Our first yellow card, and it goes to the youngster Nico O'Reilly. Scored in that 5-2 win at the Etihad over Crystal Palace just 5 weeks ago. Started the last 7 games at left back before being left on the bench last week at Southampton, and when he came on in midfield, which was a change. Just given away a corner to Crystal Palace, by my reckoning.
It's getting
the first one of the game for Crystal Palace.
I've got to say, it's getting embarrassing though here on my right-hand side. He's just about salivating this fella every time he gets the ball here.
I used to get 2 bob when I played. I mean, there's a reason for that, but it's not the fact I got number 2 on the back.
Well, set pieces are incredibly important for Crystal Palace. They've scored more goals than anybody else in the Premier League as a percentage of their overall total. It's a deep one towards the far post. Lerma keeps it alive. Lerma back in there again, still trying to keep Palace on the front foot. Haaland away. This is Kamara with the effort. It wasn't too far away, that.
Superb technique. Really is. Kamara does ever so well. He knows he's getting close quickly. He takes a perfect touch in his chest and hits the volley. Lovely technique.
Hit the target. Is that?
It's a big part of it. No getting away from it. It's a big part of it.
It looked lovely.
Yeah.
He was offside as well. It doesn't matter.
I think that's probably an indication that he was determined to pour cold water on that.
He certainly has. Ice cold on me,
Ruben Diaz. Akanji. Bernardo Silva. Now Walton's got it. Sitting on into the inside channel for Sada Chase. Guardiola's done enough. Walton winning it again, and he might have turned it over for Crystal Palace, but I think offside means that they'll pull it back for the advantage. It's a free kick for Adam Wharton. He's a bright boy, isn't he? 10 GCSEs, 2 A stars, 1 in maths, 1 in computer science, and he never revised for a single exam.
Neither did Ali.
How many A stars did you get?
Unsurprisingly, with contrasting results.
He is a terrific player, though, isn't he, Adam Wharton? He's almost like a number 10 wrapped in a number 6. Talked glowingly last week about the fact that if he has the chance to pass the ball forward to a number 10, he's going to do it. He's like a little terrier over on that far side.
That's exactly what he's like. Exactly what he's like. And they've just played 2 or 3 diagonals over that direction to him. And you can guarantee he's a willing runner.
plenty crucial moments left in the game. 20 minutes for Crystal Palace to hang on, 20 minutes for Manchester City to find an equaliser. Bernardo Silva. Doku going down the outside of Munoz, reducing a cross. So he was there. Savinho, neat little back heel into Akanji. There's not much room to try and find a blue shirt. Mitchell stops the cross.
Well, it's going to take a bit of brilliance from somebody in the City side because they're so well organised, Palace. They're doubling up on wingers. The lines in between sets of defenders and midfield players is really good, so it needs a bit of individual brilliance from somebody.
De Bruyne might provide it. Got it back from O'Reilly there. Vardiol. Now Doku. Vardiol again. Diaz. Savinho. City loses in the cup final last year to Manchester United. Different tone to this game. They'll lose another. Here's Kevin De Bruyne. Blocked by Wharton. He's got that right on the head.
He had a little bit of space here as well, De Bruyne. For the first time they'd backed off him. Some flush in the head, doesn't it? Correctly, the referee blows the whistle.
Well, he's into his last few games as a Manchester City player. I think with various moves, some a little outlandish, some more realistic. He scored a free kick and ran the game when the two met in the league a couple of weeks ago. He's won 19 trophies with Manchester City. He would love to leave with a third FA Cup in his pocket. He doesn't really want to leave, I don't think. Manchester City decided that his time should come to an end. Just wonder what options they've got up their sleeve as far as the summer is concerned, and how long he waits before he starts to think about substitutions, Lee.
Well, I'd have probably made one, mind you. I'm not Pep, but certainly time when you look at who they've got on the best bench. Foden, Grealish, somebody to make a difference. Certainly Jack Grealish at times can be unstoppable. His end product has sometimes been questioned, but they need something.
I mean, Foden's form has not been what we'd expect, Lee, but the one thing about Grealish, he'll certainly get you free kicks up in and around that Crystal Palace penalty box.
Son trying to spring a counter-attack. The way they pinched the ball in the semi-final and set themselves fair for counter-attacks was particularly impressive. It's been the same here. Here's Bernardo Silva. Out to Savinho. Blocked by Mitchell. Half-hearted chance of handball. Didn't hit the top of the arm of Mitchell, but it was close to his body. This is De Bruyne. Now Nico O'Reilly took too long to pull the trigger, and that allowed Daniel Munoz to get back. Shot by Marmoush.
Oh, you're so right. You are so right. I don't know what he's thinking about, how much time he thinks he has. It's a lovely little ball. Oh, he's got to pull it. I know it's. I think he thinks it's stuck in his feet a little bit, but he's got to pull the trigger.
Should hit it with his right foot straight away. He's trying to get it on his left. By that time, Munoz back and blocking.
It's been won back here by Crystal Palace, and Mateta trying to get clear. Bernardo Silva's going to get himself a yellow card, and there is frustration in the air amongst the Manchester City players.
What a chance that is, boys, for O'Reilly. There's a physical mismatch. Have you seen one?
There's confirmation of the yellow card. What a chance for Nico O'Reilly, who's been involved in so many goals.
Just watch his chance here with his right foot. There, toe poke it.
Oh!
Just sling a toe poke at it. Anything.
He's got to get contact on it and get it in target. Absolutely.
There's a couple of big changes here. Phil Foden is coming on. And there is a debut for Claudio Echeverri, the Argentinian who's been involved in the matchday squad for the first time today for Manchester City. He's an attacking midfielder or a winger. He's signed from River Plate. He's returned back from a loan spell there in January. And this is his Manchester City debut. What a place to make it.
You are not kidding.
Omar Marmoush off and Savinho off. Foden looks as if he's going to operate on the right-hand side. Echeverri looks like he's playing in the middle of the park. Echeverri, first touch in a Manchester City jersey. Looked for the return from Foden, didn't get it. Ruben Diaz. Kanji. Foden. Kill on towards Akanji. Supposed to go straight behind.
Palace making another substitution.
It's Mateta who's being replaced, and Eddie Nketiah who's coming on. FA Cup winner with Arsenal 5 years ago. Mateta, who's played his part this afternoon, especially in that goal.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of screening in front of his midfield, but that touch and the play to set up the goal, invaluable.
You just think Nketiah will get a chance somewhere along the line in the next 20 minutes or 15 minutes or so. I think it's 12 plus added, isn't it? There'd be a good bit of added.
Crystal Palace 9 minutes away from winning the FA Cup in 2016. Well, 11.5 minutes away from winning it now. Steve Coppell came close back in 1990. His team are leading twice. To a replay and lost 1-0 to Manchester United. Crystal Palace going to take the FA Cup home this time. Manchester City going to find a way back in. Silva. Doku trying to dance through, away by Richards. Silva. Here's De Bruyne. Is there a last bit of magic in those boots? Foden. Just as they try and move Crystal Palace around, but the gaps are small. So tightly compact and well coordinated, that Crystal Palace back line, and Eddie Nketiah getting back to deflect that attempted cross behind for a corner. Palace have to be concentrated. This is where someone in the Manchester City shirt has got to try and take a chance. It's aimed in towards Haaland, who's peeled off his marker. Tests Dean Henderson.
His marker just took his eye off him, all the way about, and lost him.
They're starting to believe. There's still a long way to go yet.
They might have gone a bit early.
Oh, I think they've been believing for a while.
He's starting to feel the tension. Look at him. That's what FA Cup finals do to you. Especially when in 119 years of history you've never won one. There's been some great stories as well. Getting back to pinch the ball from Munoz. On to De Bruyne. Now a chance for a counter for Manchester City, and those opportunities have been few and far between. Haaland on to Foden. Echeverri wants it. Foden back to De Bruyne. Back to Echeverri. This could be a serious story. Saved by Henderson. And eventually Chris Richards is back. What a moment that could have been for the youngster.
Well, he's got in a position to get his shot away, and he didn't take much time in pulling the trigger either. It's a good break, all set up by De Bruyne in the early part of that move. He's just hit it with power, straight at Henderson. Across the goalkeeper low, he's got a better chance.
I think it takes a slight deflection as well. But I'll tell you something, De Bruyne has two sublime touches in that move. One early on in the move in the middle of the park, and that pass there.
He is an Argentina youth international. Under 17, under 20, under 23. He's played the Olympics. He joined Manchester City in January 2024 for 12.5 million quid, but didn't join them for another year. He's in the team now, all right. And so is Ruben Diaz, who's been booked. Some stage to come on and make your debut for Manchester City, though, but he almost crowned it in stunning style. Claudio Echeverri. Foden. Kanji. In by Diaz, away by Richards again. It's been so important to that Crystal Palace back line. Kamada feeds Nketiah. He might have been balled down there, but Eze is escaping, and he's looking to send Ismail Assar away. Well, complaining that Nketiah was fouled to Stuart Atwell.
Advantage at the moment. Palace, they want free kicks and just to kill the game off.
Nketiah trying to get away, and it's clipped by De Bruyne, and that's going to be a yellow card for him.
And that's exactly what the gentleman on the right-hand side was talking about. They'll be delighted with that late.
Yeah.
Just takes his sting out of the game, doesn't it?
Yeah. Push up, let the goalkeeper take it.
Well, this is the closest that Crystal Palace have ever been to winning the FA Cup. There's just 5.5 minutes left of normal time. But Pep Guardiola has got a stopwatch in that technical area, and he has been pointing to it and telling the fourth official just how much time Crystal Palace, in his opinion, have been wasting. He's not going to be happy if Manchester City don't get back into this game. He's been furious throughout the most of it, animated on that touchline. Particularly up with everybody, I think. Officials, the opposition bench, Crystal Palace even got a little bit animated that he wanted more from the supporters. Kamada's pinched it. 5 minutes to go. Sarr, Nketiah waiting in the centre, trying to get hold of that. Diaz away. Kamada wins it back. Wharton dives in. Eza's got it. Wharton's down. Referee's allowing play on. He's gingerly getting back to his feet.
Great switch, great switch.
Great ball.
Those switches of play cause them a problem in the 5-2, and they're causing a problem here because Munoz has narrowly missed the target.
Watch Doku, switches off completely, and Munoz knows it. He doesn't want to go back there with him, and he's going to take full advantage of it, and he does.
Wharton's gone down, it looks like he's coming off. Well, it's not far off, is it?
No, just curling away rather than towards the post.
Well, at one stage they thought they had a 2-goal cushion. That was quickly scrubbed out. So the anxiety and the nerves will continue, especially as they're losing Adam Wharton for the final few moments of this game. After a collision with Claudio Echeverri. On comes Will Hughes, experienced campaigner. One of the driving forces in the Crystal Palace dressing room.
He's a good player as well, good person to be coming on in that position.
Fernando Silva under pressure from Nketiah. Wasn't going to give him a moment's peace there. Nketiah. Manchester City are 2.5 minutes away from a first trophyless season since Pep Guardiola's first. There is going to be a hell of a lot of added time. These Crystal Palace fans are ready to explode. Here's the man who scored the fastest ever goal in an FA Cup final. İlkay Gündoğan, who knows how to turn bad situations around for Manchester City, replaces Bernardo Silva. Away by Henderson. Guardiola, De Bruyne. Hughes trying to get there. Kamada, who's been excellent, Will.
You're right, he has.
Lacroix, steaming forward, looking to release Nketiah. Offside flag's gone up against him.
Just went a little bit early, didn't he? A little bit too keen. No need to. Can just bend his run a little bit wider and he would stay on side.
We're hearing there's going to be 10 added minutes.
Wow.
De Bruyne. Guardiola. Now Jeremy Doku. Reverse from Vardiol. Nunez trying to stick to his task. Doku wandering infield. Still Jeremy Doku. That wandering right outside the penalty area because there was just no room to goal. No room to get the shot away. De Bruyne. So far, it has been lesson in how to play without the ball by Crystal Palace. Guardiola, Gündoğan, O'Reilly. Now to Echeverri, who's trying to scoop that in.
offside anyway, Sam. 10 minutes. Whoa.
We did say.
I'm enjoying it, mind.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exciting.
Well,
What they got to do, Palace.
Not sure he thinks that.
Concentrate. If you're going round and you're a senior player on that pitch, you're going round to the other player, just do your job. That's all you got to do. Don't think about anything else.
Don't switch
do
off.
your job.
Do not switch off.
And this is where the characters like Will Hughes come in to their own. Lacroix, who's excellent at doing things like that. Dean Henderson's just been booked for time wasting. Got a very different card earlier in the game. Kamada, his header has almost gone to Foden. Across comes Lerma. Did go out on this near touchline. There will be a little bit of debate as well, boys, about whether Erling Haaland or Kevin De Bruyne should have taken that penalty. Here's Doku, trying to cause problems, goes down. Stuart Atwell says no penalty. Guardiola, all hands to the pump now for Crystal Palace as we go into the second of 10 added minutes. De Bruyne, missed by Kamada, steered away by Lerma. Tired limbs out there now for Crystal Palace, it's starting to show. They're not getting deeper, they haven't been able to, they've been deep like this all game. Doku, skating past the defender, away by Lacroix, out as far as De Bruyne, who hits it! It's wide.
I think it's Nketiah gets out to him very, very quickly. Or is it Eze? Yeah, they come across. Just put him under enough pressure.
If you want it to fall to anybody, it'd be him, wouldn't it?
So many cup finals have been decided late, changed late. Is there going to be another twist as we go into the final few minutes of this cup final? Crystal Palace 8 minutes away, 7 minutes away from the greatest day in their history. City still have De Bruyne, they still have Haaland, they still have Foden, they have Echeverri, who's on the ball now, trying to open up the defence. Will Hughes has nicked it, pushed it forward, but there's no outball again. Such a great team spirit in this Palace side, that needs to hold. Eze, whose goal might win the FA Cup. Does brilliantly to find Munoz, and then wins a free kick.
Argentinian's not too happy, but he does really well and he buys a free kick. And that'll kill another 30 seconds. Lovely composure, just invites the challenge. He actually follows through and catches. Echeverri.
Yellow card for his trouble. Overall, how will the Manchester City players feel about the performance? Speaking to Josko Gvardiol earlier this week, his suggestion was that they felt as if they didn't play at their best in last year's cup final.
Well, they've certainly not been at the best today, but they've not been allowed to be. I think they found it very difficult to get through this very well-organised, deep, almost a team they're going through, the way that Palace have played. You look at the chances that they've had. Obviously, the penalties, a big part of the game. It gets to 1-1 there, who knows? But we'd expect them to create a little bit more than they have.
It's Akanji, onto Foden. Doku. driving forward. Hughes is there before Guardiola can react. De Bruyne. Now back out to Doku once more. Trying to take on Munoz. Richards is there. It's poked forward by Echeverri. And Henderson has to make another save. Diaz. Akanji. Foden. Akanji once more. Aimed in towards Haaland. Might come through to Echeverri. There's a collision inside the box. They want a penalty for handball. Seemed to bounce off Will Hughes. Not sure there was contact with the arm. If there was, it was not in an unnatural position, I don't think. Second from Echeverri might well have come off Munoz, though. Here is Doku. Still putting pressure on for Manchester City. Relentless, probing, pressurising, but not managing to cut through. And De Bruyne again, just getting caught on the ball by Eddie Nketiah. Gonna have to ask you for the player of the match in a second, Lee Dixon. We'll do that in the next break of play. But City are coming forward once more. Foden, it's a deep ball, and it's well wide. So you can tell us.
We've had a conflab. Me and my partner next to me.
I think you'll find I've given you a right good listen to in this department.
Yeah, it's up to two people, and Henderson is in there, but I'm going to give it to the right back, obviously. Munoz, he's just been outstanding. Obviously sets the goal up, his runs forward, but also his marking of Doku.
Yeah.
City's probably arguably his most dangerous player. He's kept him very, very quiet. Henderson saving the penalty was pivotal, but I'm going to give it to the right back.
I think an honourable mention second half to Kamada as well. I think he's done a terrific second half, and the goalkeeper, but absolutely, I think you're spot on, mate.
And Crystal Palace have been spot on defensively. And they are 2.5 minutes away from winning the FA Cup for the first time. It's not business as usual for them. They've never won a major trophy before. They won the Full Members Cup back in the 90s, but that was folded straight afterwards. People don't even know what it is anymore. Mitchell gets it clear. Gundogan brings it down. Back it comes to Akanji. Foden. Forward by De Bruyne. Henderson will come and allow that to go out of play. Crystal Palace have dismissed Stockport County, Doncaster Rovers, Millwall, Aston Villa in order to earn the right to fight with Manchester City. And it's a fight that they are moments away from winning, and some of them cannot watch. It's not a great day for him, but it could be a great day for Crystal Palace.
We fellas in agony, isn't it? That's what it does to you.
Oliver Glasner warned Pep Guardiola he would get him next time, and it looks like he will. Further down the Premier League that don't want Crystal Palace to get over the line as well, because they want the European places to go down into their area of the table. But it's Crystal Palace who might be going on their first ever European sojourn if it continues like this. Doku. Diaz, heartbreaking 2016 and 1990. But the Palace dream is alive in 2025. 16 points separate the two in the league, but on this hallowed turf, on this day, anything is possible. City have not quite been City all season, and Palace are about to pounce. They can barely believe it. the subject of a Palace coup. City's reign as England's silverware kings is halted by Oliver Glasner, Crystal Palace and Eberechi Eze. Crystal Palace win the FA Cup for the first time, smash the glass ceiling and fly off to Europe for the first time in their history. Manchester City's difficult campaign will end without silverware for the first time since Pep Guardiola's first season in England. But this is a Palace story, a Glasner story. The Eagles' Austrian manager told Pep Guardiola he would beat him next time if City weren't careful, and the prophecy has come true. 119 years in the making, it's Crystal Palace celebrating in the Wembley sunshine, and they are glad all over. Crystal Palace 1, Manchester City 0.
I think that face says it all, doesn't it, Ian Wright? You were so close yourself. Crystal Palace finally won the FA Cup.
Delighted for the fans, delighted for the club, obviously absolutely delighted for Steve Parish. I think they deserved it on the day. They defended magnificently. Obviously City could have done a lot more in respect of creativity, but I think that the Palace defenders have to take a lot of the credit for what they've done today. But it's just magnificent. You can hear the fans there. It's just a great day. It's a great day for Palace.
Jolyon, City have been so successful under Pep Guardiola. We said beforehand how hard it is to win trophies. And Roy was saying, just because you're a big club, don't think it makes it any easier. Just wasn't their day today, City.
Yeah, no, they probably didn't create enough opportunities to win the game, but also the luck wasn't on their side. Some of the decisions went against them, but you can't take nothing away from Palace. An exceptional achievement, something that will live in the fans and the players' memories forever.
Yeah. First Austrian manager in an FA Cup final. Now the first Austrian manager to win the FA Cup. You said at a half-time, Roy, that they looked like they were enjoying their defending and they needed to enjoy it in the second half.
Yeah.
Because that's what they were doing.
They looked like they enjoyed it. A lot of pride. Obviously, clean sheet in the semi-final, clean sheet in the quarter-final. To keep a clean sheet against Man City any time is fantastic when you consider they conceded 7 to 2 league games. So that's all good teams are built on solid defences. You've got a bit of start quality at the top end of the pitch. We never thought one goal would be enough, but it was fantastic. The scenes, amazing, relief, joy, emotion. There you go. This is why we love the game of football.
Yeah, the game plan would have been what it was. You know, City would have a lot of possession. Can you defend? Can you defend well enough and long enough to see them off? Can you take the chance when it comes? You know, it was the one real chance. Obviously, City did have some bad luck with some decisions. I'm sure we'll speak about, but you know, I think that Palace, down the years, the amount of minutes that we could have won it, it's not happening now. They've won it. I'm delighted for them.
You saw it just a little bit there. I don't know what the exchange was between Pep Guardiola and Dean Henderson, but you said it right. You need luck to win the cup. They clearly had a bit of luck because we think that he should have been sent off. Henderson, he wasn't. They took advantage of the luck and defended so well.
Yeah. Obviously, the players aren't in control of that. The decisions, look, they're having a right to go at each other. Pep, Pep's won lots of trophies, he knows, but it's not the goalkeeper's problem. Yeah. It's the official's decision. So I don't know why he's frustrated with him, but he's a winner, isn't he?
Let's go down to the pitch then. Crystal Palace's day. Here's Gabriel Clark.
Guys, Eberechi, Joel, such a long-serving player for this club. He's gone on a run, Joel. And what a moment for him. And what a moment for Crystal Palace. Let's get in and see him as well.
Listen, this is creating history right now for this club. And this bunch of lads taking this club to the next level. You know, we had the belief from the start, and I'm just so proud of these boys. They've done so much hard work, and they've done what they needed to do.
Well, let's trap the man himself. You've made history.
No words, man. No words. I don't know what to say, man. I can only thank God, man, because this is... no words, man, no words.
Greenwich isn't very far, but your journey's been a long one.
Yeah, again, I can only thank God because this is special, man. This is what dreams are made of for this club as well, man. This is special, man. And who would have thought we could do it?
And for South London, the first trophy for Crystal Palace.
We made history today, and again...
Tactically, was it just as you planned it? Obviously, we're talking about the goal as well.
Tactics were good, but that's all about spirit, man. That's energy. That's everyone fighting together and doing what we had to do today, which was special.
When VAR comes in for a handball around your goalkeeper, are you concerned?
Yeah, always concerned, because you don't want to give these guys a chance. They're too good, man. So to be in this position, we have to hold on to it.
Well, there's a feeling, I think, that decision was among, let's say, one of the poorest in an FA Cup final. But Dean is there, he stays on the bench, and look what he does.
Well, it is what it is, man. To be honest, I don't care about any of that. I'm just happy that we won, man. That's the main thing. That's the special thing about it.
And what kept you going when you see 10 minutes added on time?
He's the best!
John
He's
Philly.
the best! He's the best!
I think you're the man.
Oh, God, man. Only God, man.
And this fella, player of the match.
Special, man.
Daniel Munoz.
Say again?
Daniel Munoz, player of the match.
Yeah, he deserves it, man. He deserves it. The energy he puts in, the character, the mentality, he's got everything, man. We're grateful.
Glad all over.
We are glad all over. Please, let me enjoy it now, please. Let me enjoy it.
Okay. Off you go.
It is, isn't it?
These Palace fans in the last 10 minutes, I said it to the chaps here, were so nervous they couldn't cheer. That's completely understandable. Anybody watching this who loves football and supports a team knows that when your team is so close, you just lose your voice through absolute terror. Now they found their voice in. And actually, he's right, Eberechi, isn't it? The tactics is fine. That was sheer heart in the second half. Yes. We will not concede a goal.
Absolutely. And the Palace fans from the start have been magnificent. We're just Palace fans here who've been there since 1990. They've been through those minutes and where it's so close, and now for them to get to this point and win this trophy, especially when there have been some poor decisions from the referee's point of view, absolutely City should be disappointed about that. But I think overall I feel Palace just deserve that, and I'll give it to them.
Look,
on
that's
their
Crystal
defence.
Palace royalty, isn't it? Roy Hodgson and Gareth Southgate, they will have enjoyed it very much, as well as your old teammate Mark Brightwell up there as well. From Manchester City's point of view, does this signal the necessary regeneration of City this summer?
Yeah and no. I think that was coming anyway. Listen, it's a disappointing season. The standards they've set over the last 10, 14 years has been...
Steve Coppell enjoying himself.
Yeah, it's been remarkable. And it would be unfamiliar for a lot of these players not to win a trophy, but listen, you have no divine right to win a trophy at the start of the season. And yeah, you've got to give all credit to Crystal Palace. You conceded one goal in the whole competition is unique.
And this is not about Man City. Today is not about Man City. Man City have had loads of credit over the last few years. Fantastic club, fantastic team in terms of the success they've had. But this is Crystal Palace's day. We talk about having a plan. Every team's got a plan. You've got to go out and do the business. You've got to play with spirit, fight, quality, a little bit of luck.
Belief in each other, trust in each other.
Again, they've had all that today and more. And when you're interviewing the players after the game there, they don't know what to say. That's the emotion. Maybe you should give them a half an hour to just bring it all in. But also it's great to see how raw it is. A lot of tears there from players and the fans. Young kids there probably thinking, is this the norm with Crystal Palace?
This will happen every time.
But I'm pretty sure it won't be another 100 years before they win a trophy.
Eberechi has scored the opening goal in the quarter-final, the semi-final, the final. I mean, it was mainly a defensive game out of necessity today. But the one chance they had, he took so well, and it's just added to his reputation.
Well, that's what you've got to do when you're playing against the City. Whatever we say, that City side were more than good enough. Like I said, they had their opportunities, but you need someone like Eze to score in this game. And he's turned up in all those games you've mentioned, the big games, and he's done it again today.
So he's born in Greenwich. We talked about South London. That's South London. Released by Arsenal at 13, said he cried in his room for a week. Released by 3 or 4 different London academies, plus Reading. But never stopped believing in what he could do.
I don't think he'll be released again.
You can look at the way Eberechi as he is, and he's got a style and a way about him that when he was younger, you could probably see where coaches and people will look at him and think, well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about it. I don't like the way that happens. That has obviously happened with him. And you know what? In the end, obviously, QPR, he got his chance at QPR, got himself moved to Palace, and now, we're seeing a wonderful player that is beautiful to watch. But leave it to those people. He wouldn't be in the game if he doesn't keep going. You lose players like that. You lose players like that because his natural effervescence it's cool, it's calm, it's languid, it's beautiful.
But it's a lesson. So rejection's part of the game.
Absolutely.
If you can't deal with rejection, don't play football. You're going to have setbacks, and people might fancy it.
Progress is not one nice linear ascent to the top.
If only. If only it was as simple as that. There'd be a lot of people out there playing professional football.
You wouldn't enjoy it as much as well. You wouldn't enjoy it as much.
Oliver Glasner, I read the other day, growing up very close to the German border in Austria. It's the usual question I ask, did you grow up watching the FA Cup final? He said in his interview, we didn't have British television. So the answer is no. We had 3 German channels, 2 Austrian channels, so no. Now here he's come and taken the FA Cup by storm. And he'll go back to his apartment, he says, which the Thames runs outside it. Tomorrow morning, have a nice cup of coffee.
He looks calm there, doesn't he?
Oh, he's still calm.
All in, yeah, he's cool. And
Steve Parish won't be. Palace almost went bust in 2010 when he took over.
He's the owner that they needed, and he's obviously taken them where they should be at the moment.
Let's head down to the pitch again and join Karen and Laura amongst the celebrations.
Mark, thank you very much. We kind of feel like we might be at the wrong part of Wembley at the moment because we are over here at the city side, and over there we can see, it is absolutely amazing. The Palace fans from start to finish in this game have just been incredible. They've really rocked Wembley, and they really deserve this tonight. Karen, when we were watching it from the very start, especially those ultras in that corner behind that goal, were just going mad, weren't they?
Oh, the atmosphere, as you said, in the Palace end was just electric. I know it's settled down a little bit now, but it's in anticipation of that trophy, that first major trophy that this football club is going to lift today. And they absolutely deserved it from the first minute. Their game plan, the manager was brilliant on the side, tactically putting tweaks in. But it was just a brilliant day for Palace, and this is a special moment.
And a huge moment for their manager as well. It took over from Roy Hodgson, of course, and has had to take his time to implement what he wanted to do to make sure he got into an organised position after missing so many players in pre-season. He's just so loved, and what they did today and what they've done all season pretty much has been so interesting to watch.
It has, and I mentioned that, but you also have to put the confidence and the belief in the players. Today they didn't have much possession, but that doesn't faze them. But they stay in the game, and look, they've come away with another clean sheet. Only conceded 1 in this FA Cup run, and they had a lot of possession against them today, but a brilliant game plan and a brilliant result for them.
Man City obviously working their way up now, up the stairs in Wembley to the presentation position themselves, and runners-up in the FA Cup this season. It's another defeat in an FA Cup final for them, Karen.
Yeah, look, we were right in front of both benches, and as we came down pitch side, we are closer towards the Man City end. Very frustrating. Pep Guardiola constantly frustrated in the whole game today. Just couldn't get his team geared up, couldn't find a solution to Crystal Palace. It wasn't their day, and sometimes you just have to go to as a Manchester City player and fan, and just go, look, they had one on us today. We might have had a lot of possession, but ultimately, I say it's a lot. 10 passes doesn't lead to a goal, unfortunately, and they weren't ruthless or clinical enough tonight, City.
Post-match, Pep Guardiola had a kind of, I wouldn't call it an altercation because it wasn't that far at all, but had some kind of words with Dean Henderson. Man City fans will be watching at home and they'll be thinking that they were owed a penalty there, and they'll be so frustrated that they weren't given it.
Look, I do think VAR got the decision wrong. I thought it was a goal-scoring opportunity, but I'm sure we'll talk about it again.
Well, let's get some reaction with Dean Henderson because he's speaking with Gabriel.
Wow, Dean, that was one eventful day and you've made history.
Yeah, it's incredible, honestly. So tired, concentration, the lads were out on the feet. So proud of everyone. We deserve this moment, the fans deserve it, the manager deserves it, everyone involved deserves it, the backroom staff, it's been phenomenal. And yeah, just so delighted to get over the line. It seemed like we were out there for about 24 hours defending, but fair play to the boys, they stuck in, they got the blocks in, it was fantastic, and we're here now.
When the VAR reviews that handball outside the area, what are you thinking?
I didn't know it was for me, in all honesty. I knew the ball had come into the box, so I wasn't sure what they were doing it for. And then I asked Chile down the side, was it for me? And he said, yeah, but who cares? It doesn't matter.
I think Manchester City will feel aggrieved. The denial, it wasn't the denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, was how VAR saw it.
I don't know. I'm not bothered. I don't know what you said, sorry.
But you're on the pitch, and then when Omar Marmoush steps up, what are you thinking?
Yeah, obviously confident. I saved the penalty down there a few years ago for Shrewsbury. I fancied my chances in that corner. He smashed it hard, and I went the right way, and thankfully got the save off.
After that, what is key? And when you see 10 minutes going up on the added time board, what is key?
You just got to stay focused. Obviously, you're exhausted. They're such good players, such a good team. They had 10 minutes added on, and yeah, everyone dug in and got the job done.
There was a word with Pep Guardiola at the end there. I think he came over.
Yeah, I just went to shake his hand, but obviously I think he was disappointed with the time waste. I said, you got your 10 minutes you were wanting, so no hard feelings.
Well, what a day for South London, what a day for Crystal Palace, eh, these fans?
Yeah, incredible, and they'll remember this forever like we will.
Go and get your medal.
There you go, Dean Henderson just summing up what the cameras are seeing there between him and Pep Guardiola. Look, Pep Guardiola is naturally going to be very disappointed, but for Dean Henderson, look, he stayed on the pitch, that was the decision, and he pulled out some incredible saves.
Oh, he absolutely did. He stayed on, and like you said, that was that moment, the momentum. You felt it in the stadium, what was going to happen, but he's a confident guy on penalties and stepped up and done one for his team. But he said it in his interview there. I thought the whole team and even the subs that came on, the defensive responsibility and the concentration. He said they didn't have hardly any of the ball, and that's where you get tired and make mistakes, but there was not one mistake today.
And it's a team that throughout the whole campaign in this FA Cup has been so solid at the back, but has so much belief as well.
Yeah, like I said, it's hard as a player when the manager says you've got to stay in your shape and you don't have possession. You think, oh, I just want to go, it's an FA Cup final and express myself. But you have to pick your moments, and again, that's down to the manager. Great game plan. They're also putting the confidence in the player. And they've gone and done it tonight, and Eze as well, absolutely buzzing for him that he got the winner.
So many standout performances, but this was a brilliant team performance in all, and a brilliant manager at the helm, a first major trophy for Crystal Palace. Look, we've actually done it, you definitely have. So let's hand over to Sam Matterface now.
Thank you, Laura. Well, when you've lost the steps, feel like stomping up a mountain. When you've won, you feel as if you can float up the 107 steps to receive your medal. Trophy and the medals for the winners, the runners-up, the match officials, all being delivered to the royal box by Captain Stuart Morgan, Sergeant Jamie Tomlinson and Warrant Officer Andrew Oakley, and His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales will hand the cup to Crystal Palace in just a few moments. It is a dream that has been realised, not one you might have been anticipating after what was a sluggish start to the season. But Oliver Glasner, with the help of Jean-Philippe Mateta, certainly hit full throttle after Christmas and have hit form at just the right time. Can I have that back, please? He's fixed it for him. He wants to record it for posterity, and why not? This is a moment of history. History which this club has never managed to achieve before, and Steve Parish and Mark Bright, who have been massive parts in changing the point of view of Crystal Palace. We'll probably celebrate long into the night with those supporters behind the goal and the players who are certainly going to enjoy themselves. Oliver Glasner leads them up those steps at Wembley. They certainly haven't done it the easy way. They've beaten Fulham and Aston Villa from the Premier League, and now Manchester City, usually all-conquering. And Dean Henderson had a lot to do with that. He was in the thick of the action. And Oliver Glasner certainly did. His tactical nous getting Crystal Palace over the line. Maxence Lacroix, a big part of the so-solid crew at the back. And that has helped them have the prize of not only the FA Cup but European football next season as well. The supporters sing an Elvis song, and they hope that this will mean that more from South London can't help falling in love with Crystal Palace. Big day for Joel Ward, you heard from him. Steve Coppell couldn't quite get the job done, but Crystal Palace have done it tonight. Joel Ward goes off into the sunset, 13 years at the club. He leaves with a winner's medal after starting the 2016 final. Dean Henderson, who saved that penalty, Will Hughes, who came on at the very end just to help them over the line. Daniel Munoz, the player of the match. Who have to come off the bench to help out when Gay was injured, and at that point there might have been a panic amongst the Palace supporters, but in the end the panic was unwarranted. Oliver Glasner is the first Austrian to lead a team to a cup final, and he is the first Austrian to win the FA Cup. There's the man of the moment, the man who scored the goal. A man who has suffered rejection early in his career, but has flourished here at Wembley. Scored for England, scored in the semi-finals, scored the winning goal in an FA Cup final. And Mark Gay, who switched Chelsea for Palace, the captain, and now Palace legend. It will be him and Joel Ward, I think, who will lift the trophy. This group of players have forged a connection with the community, with the club, and they have delivered its greatest day. Before they can lift the cup, they need to join hands. They are South London and proud. Proud to call themselves FA Cup winners of 2025. Joel Ward manoeuvres himself to the front of the line. He's looking for the lid for the FA Cup, I think.
The winners of the 2025 Emirates FA Cup!
Crystal Palace wave the FA Cup trophy high above their heads for the first time. It's a seismic day for Palace fans. The Eagles have finally landed a major prize. The 2025 FA Cup winners are Crystal Palace. McCoysley-Dixon, what a great day for those Palace supporters and those Palace players whose lives have now changed.
Sam, they've waited long enough, haven't they? I agree with the boys, thoroughly deserving of a trophy. We knew how the game was going to go. City were going to have all the possession and they were going to have to take their chance when it came, and they certainly did. A wonderful, wonderful goal it was too. One thing I would mention defensively throughout the tournament, they've been absolutely on a different level. They've lost one goal, I think that was at Millwall. Carried a little bit of luck today, but they were organised and deserving of the cup victory.
Yeah, absolutely. This right now is the beauty of the FA Cup. The fact that an underdog can come to Wembley, take on one of the big boys and hold the cup up high above their heads. An absolutely brilliant day. Always sunshine on FA Cup final day, and it's certainly sunny for Crystal Palace tonight.
It's going to take a long time for them to pass it down the line, and they're going to cherish every moment, and quite rightly they should. Matt Turner behind them. A couple of Americans winning the FA Cup for the first time, Matt Turner and Chris Richards. Daichi Kamada, the first Japanese player to do so. Ben Chilwell on loan from Chelsea, and Nathaniel Klein, whose future is uncertain. But it's their day. The Crystal Palace supporters, given to them by a team with a wonderful team spirit, a wonderful bond. They've beaten his team. And he watches on frustrated, and he is probably still furious inside, but it's Crystal Palace's day. Eddie Nketiah is an FA Cup winner for a second time. Picked up the trophy 5 years ago with Arsenal. Veni and Mateta right at the very end of the line of the South London outsiders from the Palace, who have taken down the establishment.
Terrific rendition of Glad All Over from the utterly jubilant Crystal Palace fans. Lots more reaction, analysis and interviews to come on Crystal Palace's greatest day here at Wembley. Oliver Glasner, appointed in February of last year by Steve Parish and his board. What an appointment. A man who'd won the Europa League with Eintracht Frankfurt, had taken them to the German Cup final when they lost, but he's taken Palace to the promised land this afternoon. Crystal Palace beating Manchester City by 1-0. Eberechi Eze with the goal. It's the greatest day in their history. It is as simple as that. And this is what's going on behind us here. Our editor is so jubilant because he's a Palace fan. He's just pointed out the last South London team to win the cup was Wimbledon, and their goalkeeper saved the penalty as well. Dave Weston against John Woodbridge, 1988. You need the goalkeeper. You need a little bit of luck. Do you think on the balance of play, let's try and ignore the Henderson red card for now, for a moment, because of course editorially we'll come back to it. Over the piece, did they deserve to win, Palace?
I think so. From a defensive point of view, I think Man City, with everything that they try to throw, with Doku, with Haaland, with the chances of the penalty, I thought the Palace defended brilliantly. They've defended brilliantly. They made great blocks, and the goalkeeper made a great save.
He's definitely got the war wounds. It looks like he's been in a boxing match. That's why he came off. Got a right clout under his eye. But Jodin, that's what you have to do as a centre-back. You have to put your body on the line.
Yeah, leading by example.
They did that.
Definitely. And they knew it was going to be tough. They knew they were going to have to rely on their defensive side of their game. And Roy said before the game that if they were going to have success, Henderson was probably going to have to be man of the match. And he was arguably that as well. So you can take nothing away from them. And this will be memorable for the rest of their careers.
You've got all three of you have got pictures like this in your... Well, most people have them in the downstairs loo. Let's be honest, that's what we do in Britain and Ireland. But somewhere at home, you've got these great photos.
100%, yeah. I was lucky enough to go on and win all the things, but this cup, especially from a young Jordan Lescott, remember what this was like to watch this competition. To go on and to win it is huge for these players.
Do you know, I hope they don't celebrate too much. They've got a game on Tuesday, don't they?
Shut up. No, they've got to celebrate. They've got to go for it. You know, it's brilliant.
I hope they celebrate until
Tuesday.
I hope they celebrate Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then the season's over.
Yeah, you always have to remind players, obviously, enjoy it, have a great time. These moments.
Yeah, but remember, this game used to be the last game of the season when it was brilliant, and you couldn't just, enjoy yourself, go for it.
Joel Ward is in there, club captain. He's leaving at the end of the season. He played in the 2016 final. He's been here since 2012. He was on the bench. I mean, what a way to go out.
Yeah.
Always, as my grandfather used to say, always leave a party when you're enjoying it most.
Well, the
what
thing
a way to go
with
out.
he's been a great servant. He's been a great servant to the club, and I'm really pleased. And I know it shows a bit of class with Palace to make sure that he gets in on the lifting of that cup. First cup the Palace have won in their history, and he's part of that, and he deserves to be part of that with his service, what he's given Palace.
There he is, Joel Ward there. Brilliant.
They look like
what
a good
moment.
group, don't they? There's good dynamics between them, energy. Obviously, it's great when you win, but over the course of a season, we think they had a difficult start. They've showed great character and quality to come back and win a trophy.
Right, Steve Coppell on the left, punch in the air. Alan Smith next to him, Ian's manager in 1990. What do you think? What is he thinking? Go on, try and...
Well, now that he could see these scenes, he could have seen what it'd been like, because we made some noise here in 1990 as well, the Palace fans. And what it made you realise is that if you could have given them that, I'm just pleased that I'm able to be here, probably my last ever FA Cup, and Palace are the ones that have won it. You know what I mean? It's just a dream. It's like a dream.
They've done it for you, Ian.
Oh, by the way, it means Europa League football for Palace Thursday night at Selhurst Park. Fantastic.
Progression.
It means, of course, it means Eze, the manager, Glasner, Gehi.
And more work for Ian. More TV work, surely. There's got to be a deal out there for him somewhere.
I think he'll be okay, don't you? I think he'll be okay. Listen, football is a pyramid of beasts in the jungle, and Palace are not at the top. They're going to be fighting off some bigger beasts, aren't they, for the manager, for some players?
Oh, there's challenges to come now when you get a bit of success. The manager, I'm sure there'll be clubs looking at him, some of the top players, people to be after him. But they're nice problems to have. That means you're making progress as a football club, that people want the people you're working with. It's a great set. High-class problems.
High-class problems.
You know what, obviously, with, like you say, Europe, and the manager seems to have got a really good bunch together. If he could put some more players to that to see what they can achieve. Can they get into the top six? Can they really start challenging for these kind of European places? Not just because nearly half the leagues in Europe, but the fact that they are good enough to continue to progress to get into those areas of the league.
Yeah, definitely think recruitment becomes easier when you're in Europe, but also it becomes harder to maintain the squad that you have, because the likes of Eze, Mark Gehi, Adam Wharton are going to be prizes for the club. So, yeah, it's a tough summer for Palace, both recruiting and keeping.
Yeah, and you know, they've got a lot of good players. They have got a lot of talented players. They've got good characters. There's a bit of spirit, a bit of fight, obviously, in the club. And they're getting their rewards.
Yes.
Right, I can see behind it Oliver Glasser's coming over here.
Hey,
this
nice
is going to
one.
be terrific. He's going to, between here, right, I'm producing now, between you two here, wearing his Crystal Palace shirt. We'll give him a microphone. He'll have a little hug with Ian. And we will congratulate him, Oliver. Congratulations on becoming the first Crystal Palace manager to win the FA Cup. How does that sound? Very well done.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. What are your emotions at the moment? What are your emotions at the moment?
To be honest, I can't really believe it because, and also to be honest, I think when you play this game 10 times, you win it once, and this happened today because, we were very, scored with the first time we were in the half, and then just defended with every single phase of the body, and had a great goalkeeper, and a great mentality, a great togetherness, and then, it's how you can win the first trophy for Crystal Palace. So I'm really proud of the team, about the whole staff, and so congratulations, all the credit to them.
Did the tactics work in respect of we know that City was going to have a lot of possession, but you wanted to make sure that if you did get the chance, you take the chance and you go from there?
Oh yes, we analyzed all the games when we conceded so many goals, and we always saw when they find the pocket, we are vulnerable. And this happened in the first half, the same. When they get the penalty, Kamada was a little bit impatient, steps out, and then they find with 1-2 passes the gaps. And this is what we want to avoid. We say we give them more possession, but we don't give them the pockets. We let them cross. We know we can defend as well.
Discipline.
And waited. And it was all about being patient, and finding the right moments. And so really fantastic how the players work together today.
Fantastic.
A final question, Oliver. This must make you feel very humble, how much this means to the people to have won the FA Cup.
Oh yes, we talked about it before. I think it's for me personally, I think for all our players, the biggest achievement is giving our fans, the 10,000, a weekend. They forget all their problems at home, whatever it is, and now they are enjoying the moment, the day. I think even tomorrow, maybe a few heads with some headaches. But this is what they deserve because they always stick to Crystal Palace, whatever is in the club. They always stick to the team. So I think this trophy is especially for all our fans from South London. So congrats.
Well said.
Thank you very much to you. Congratulations, Oliver. Thank you very much indeed. Well, Roy was saying they're playing on Tuesday night at home at Selhurst Park. That is going to be some party, which I think will run from now until then, actually. More analysis to come. We hope to speak to Steve Parish as well, the co-chairman, on his and the club's greatest day. In the sunshine here at Wembley, Ebericha Eze scored the opening goal in the quarter-final and the semi-final, scored the only goal here this afternoon, and it means that Crystal Palace win the FA Cup for the very first time. They beat Manchester City by 1-0. And just standing here on the touchline, you can sense how much that means to everybody connected with this club. Daniel Munoz, man of the match, is down here with his family. And Steve Parish, the chairman, is with us as well. Steve, you took the club over in 2010. It almost had gone bust. This must be the most special day in your football life, surely.
Absolutely. And it's, this man, I already loved the club, and then he made me fall in love with it all over again. So it's redemption for the club. Twice we've been here, twice we've been bridesmaids. Today I really believe, because the manager believes, the player believes, and it's just an amazing day for all these fans, for South London, for the club. Ecstatic.
When it said 10 minutes of stoppage time, did you say, please, we're owed this, third time lucky, please, somebody up there?
You know, you play, 1 minute went, I was like, that's 10% gone. 10% gone. 20% gone. Yeah.
I'm surprised you would be watching that, Chairman. I'm surprised you'd be able to actually watch it.
The time went quite quick. Normally it drags completely, but listen, it was a dogged performance. Probably wasn't one of our prettiest, but we're always a threat, and I think that counted on the day. And the defending we've just been talking about, defending was outstanding. And Dean, the penalty save, big moments in big games, big players come up with it, don't they? And Dean did.
Yeah. What would you like to say to the chairman? Go on, I'm sure you've got something to say.
No, it's just like, obviously, I'm always sending the chairman a message after to see how it's gone, and because I know what it means to him, but I'm just pleased that these fans have got to witness something like this, especially on our last, FA Cup final. And this Palace was there. I was just saying congratulations, Chairman, for everything you've done up to this point for the club.
I want to say something because I just said this on BBC. This is for all the people that encourage you, right? All the people that give you a message when it's not going well, all the people that help you out, all the stuff you've written when it's been going badly. You know the people that have got your back. These guys have always had my back. It's for all of them.
Yes, absolutely.
And you did a great piece with Gabriel about the academy in the South London fertile ground, and a boy from Greenwich wins the game, Eberechi Eze. It's so appropriate.
Exactly. It's South London proud. That's what we are. Yeah. And no one's cooler on the pitch, is there, and off it than Ed. So,
brilliant. Have a great party tonight.
Thank you very much.
Tomorrow and on Tuesday as well at
Appreciate
Selhurst
Thank
Park.
you very much.
Brilliant, Steve. Well done.
Chairman.
Congratulations. There has to be a loser. Here's Pep Guardiola with Gabriel Clark.
Commiserations. Ruben Diaz has told us that Manchester City weren't quite at the level they could have been today. Do you agree?
Quite what?
At the level that you might have been, at the level that you should have been at today.
Yeah, we played really good. We did everything. Unfortunately, like at Southampton, but today we created more chances. We could not score. The first chance that they had in the transition, we didn't concede much in the transition. We did everything, but this is about goals, and they scored one. So congratulations, Crystal Palace.
What did you make of the decision not to send off Dean Henderson?
I'm not a referee.
But I think many see it, many City fans will see it as a very poor decision.
I'm not a referee. That's to the referee.
In terms of the penalty, was it Omar Marmoush's decision to take the penalty?
Yeah, they decide.
First penalty is taken for Manchester City.
Okay, second one will be better.
How do you sum up the performance after that and what your team did with the ball? Because so much possession.
No, not just possession. Chances, and we arrive from right, from left, especially with left. We should clear chances. Unfortunately, we could not score, so they didn't create much. The team was in top form, defend really well, really deep, like with Roy Hodgson. Didn't change much in that terms. But yeah, it's where it is.
Not City's day. Newcastle win a trophy, first time in 70 years.
Yep.
Palace win the cup, first time ever.
Yep.
Dream, everybody. That's what you want.
Yes. It's only there's not too many to win, so I think the Palace and the Newcastle, they should be going to try and win these trophies.
Absolutely. What it means is that Crystal Palace, they are glad all over this evening. Bye for now.
The 144th season of the FA Cup.
We're all set here for what should be a really special occasion.
The journey starts here.
I do love this competition.
He loves it too. Harrogate are in the hat.
It's that one-off. Players do step up.
Terrific free kick. Oh, he's very quick. The Daggers have done it.
The Emirates FA Cup third round.
It's Rodgers. They turn it around.
In this country, the cup means a bit more.
Oh, beautiful.
Eze
on the turn. Oh, yes. Plymouth Argyle lead at Brentford.
The FA Cup always had a bit of magic about it.
Tamworth are heartbroken.
I'm just so proud of it.
Avert, Bayern near St. Dirksey with a chance to win it. And that's exactly what it does.
Beautifully taken by McAteer.
He's Mitoma. He's in. And we might have a huge shot in our hands. The FA Cup weaves its magic. A quite glorious finish.
Ortega back pedaling. It's in. Manchester City on level. De Bruyne.
Morgan Rodgers. Oh, he won't be forced in. Maguire.
I guess you're used to this, huh?
It's awesome for Argyle. Nico O'Reilly to turn it around. For the first time in 59 years, Preston North End are through to the quarterfinals. What a finish from Danny Welbeck.
Ben Leno, the headline act.
They prevailed on penalties yet again. City are in front.
Jacob Ramsey, what a finish.
Here's Nketiah to finish this off. Crystal Palace are coming back to Wembley for an FA Cup final.
7 times in a row, semi-finals FA Cup. I'm sorry to tell you, but this is outstanding.
It's the perfect day